but forcing her to carry the baby to term may take her life. So now you're forced to choose between mom and the unborn. Still believe it is.
Well,
Go ahead.
first of all, I was talking about a doctor. A doctor has that is what all child to do. So if they're a doctor and they said they would do no harm, taking a life is doing harm
Nah,
in the worst way.
I think you
And
could. I don't know.
as for a mom, I don't understand your question.
If mom's life is in jeopardy, but forcing her to carry the baby to term will likely produce a viable baby, but it could take her life in the process. Would you still have a problem with the doctors taking the life of that baby to save the mom?
So the baby in your scenario is completely healthy, and there's no chance of the baby being harmed at all. I think that I don't know a woman that would say, okay, let's kill a baby so I can live if the baby is perfectly
What?
healthy.
So if the baby's perfectly healthy, but her life may be at risk, you believe most women would say, I am willing to die to make this baby come. This baby come. You believe most women would be willing to sacrifice their life for their unborn child that's not born yet?
I think a real woman would put the health and life of her child above herself, just like a man would put his life on the line for his woman or for a child. So yeah, I mean that's what good parents do.
Speaking of what good parents do, Shanti on TikTok asked, "And who's raising these babies with dead mothers?" You're saying what a good parent is not even going to see the baby being born.
I would say the father could raise the baby. The grandparents could raise the baby. The aunt and uncle could raise the baby. An adoption agency could find the baby a good home to be raised. I mean, the question really is what value are you as a Democrat putting on that child's life? What is that child worth to you? I mean, you can insult me till the cows come home. You're not going to change my
I
mind.
believe that. I believe
But
that.
what value is the life of that child to you? Because I know a decent woman and a good parent would always put the child first.
I think where we have the disconnect is if a woman is only in the stage of it being an embryo or a fetus, hell, even if it's probably 6 to 8 months along, I don't think where you and I have to disagree. I don't think most women are going to say to make sure this baby that I have never seen and never will see remains alive, I'm willing to sacrifice my life for it. I don't think most women, in fact, I got a bunch of women in the comments that are disagreeing with you now. I guess they're all liberals in your opinion, but
Well, I'm sure you have a bunch of Democrat women in there that are disagreeing with me. But my point isn't that they're disagreeing with me. My point is, what value do you put on your child? Would you be willing to lay your life down for your child? If you're too weak and you can't put your life down for your child, maybe you should try abstinence or
it's
birth control
we're
or
past
something
that.
like that.
We're past that stages. And I see in the comments, Arnita makes it clear. She says, "I love my fucking life." So she's making it clear she's not going to do that. Here's where I think the difference is. Conservatives that it's one thing to have a relationship with your child. Your child has a name, your child knows you as mom, you've seen your child go to school, or your child's in the crib, whatever. It's one thing to put your life on the line for a child you've developed a relationship with to that level. It's another thing to suggest you should put your life on the line for something you've never seen yet. At best, you felt a kick in your
Well,
stomach.
call me old fashioned. I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is a child should always come first. The child should always come first. If you can carry a baby and that baby doesn't come first, the problem isn't the baby. The problem is you. The problem lies with you, not the child. The child's innocent. Taking the child's life is murder. Now, I'm not here to discuss what a Democrat thinks, because I already know their stance.
You can't do that.
I'm not here for that. I came up because I disagreed with what the Republicans said. I think taking a woman's life would make you just as guilty as the woman that took the child's life. You should lock them up. You should put them away for life without parole. You should do the same for the doctor. But murder is murder. You can't say murder is okay in some instance, but not in the other. If murder is illegal, murder is illegal.
All right. Well, hold on, Gates. Hold on. The problem is that you denote an embryo at conception as a child. They don't see it that way. You gotta guess. Go ahead.
For one, let's get this straight.
Brainwave and a heartbeat. Because if they have a brainwave and a heartbeat, they're alive.
No. Zygotes do not have a brainwave or a heartbeat. It's a fetus.
Oh, shit.
When it's a fucking fetus. Yeah, oh shit. You sorry ass cracker.
Oh, come on. This ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, Tim. I'm so sick of white teen men thinking they're gonna run our fucking bodies. Telling us what we're gonna do. Shut up. I let you talk.
Why does this race gotta come into this?
No, because they are. Who is in the office right now trying to control
Hold
our
on.
lives?
You don't think that there are non-whites, Muslims, and all kinds of other people that have the same opinion as him?
No,
it ain't got nothing to do. It has nothing to do with his race.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Okay, Tim. Look at the Republican Party. Tell me, is it rainbow of people up in there? No, it's white teen people all up in the cabinet. So shut your mouth.
Gangster.
And no man
Gangster grandma.
should be talking on our bodies.
Most
no man should be talking on our bodies.
Most Muslims agree with him. Most Muslims, but you're white. Most Muslims agree with him. They not white. What the hell are you talking about? It ain't got nothing to do with race.
I don't give a damn what they are. No man should be speaking on our bodies.
It ain't got nothing to do with race. It ain't got nothing to do with race. No, it don't.
Right now, Tim. Right now.
This is why
to
Go ahead,
I already understand where their view is. I'm not arguing their point. We understand you want to murder a child. That's okay.
It's not a child. Okay, let's comprehend this. You nut redneck motherfucker, you.
Want to your God. All I'm saying, I'm actually agreeing with you.
Oh, shut the fuck up. What we should do is be lynching the fucking white man. How about that?
I like to murder children. It's cool, but as far as not having an opinion on it, when a man gets a woman pregnant, we give you the seed of life and we decide the sex of the baby. So you can go straight to hell with that.
When can I fucking speak?
Or we don't have something
when
to
I
say.
paid for this, when can I speak? When can I fucking speak?
Now you know how it feels for.
No, I paid for this shit. That bitch got free. Okay.
Go ahead. What are you trying to say to
But let me tell y'all something. For one, it's zygote. 0 to 6 weeks. It's a fucking zygote. It has no feelings. It's a glob of cells. A fucking little bitty glob of fucking cells. A fucking blood clot. If you really want to get to know it, it is. It's a blood clot. Has no heartbeat. Has nothing. That's when we find out when we are knocked the fuck up with your ugly ass babies. Then, then it becomes a kiss. It cannot live without us, you nut ass bitches. So it's our bodies. They cannot live without us. That's why we like Roe versus Wade. So when it came to it shut the fuck up.
I'm not disputing that at all.
Shut the fuck up. No, you said child. You said child. A child is living. A child is living. A child is 5 years old. You stupid nutmeg.
Republican was wrong, and that a woman should
shut the fuck up.
She should be put in prison along with the doctor who swore to do it.
Oh, you need to go be put the fucking white men, the great people.
I don't believe it's. Hang on, hold on, conservative. I don't believe it's all only Republicans. I believe there are plenty of Republicans that have terminated the life of a child.
No, Tim, do you know that there's a lot of Republicans that are fucking pro-abortion, that are fucking pro-AIDS? Do you guys realize that?
There's a lot of Republicans that have killed those babies, and they belong in the same
That's
place that
not
the Democrat
a
ladies
fucking
that commit
baby,
murder and the
you
doctors
nut.
that commit
It's
murder.
a fucking zygote, and it's a thing.
How do you-
Is illegal.
How do you respond to her suggesting it's not a baby, it's a zygote? What is your response to that?
A baby comes out at first breath. That when it brings the first to life, that's not a
I'm
baby.
glad you asked me. You know what this whole thing is? Zygote, fetus, all of this. This is just talking points.
No,
to
it's
make
not.
you
It's a
not think
real
of
thing.
it as a
You
child.
stupid nut.
It's just words. When the doctor says you are pregnant, he's not saying congratulations, you're having a zygote. He's saying congratulations.
That is a legal term, you stupid. You dumb fuck. That's why his mama should have swallowed him. That's why he has no fucking mama.
I will say
He doesn't
this.
know his mama.
Okay, before and you got another guest, Nate. But before I say this, before I bring up Nate, I will say this though. If you take it, because this is in defense of what he is saying, Gangsta Grandma and Nate, is that if you actually take let's say for instance you go out and rob a woman that's pregnant and you sling her around trying to yank her purse off her or something, if you cost the life of that baby inside of her, they don't charge you with killing a zygote. They don't charge you with taking the life of a zygote.
You know why? You know why they do that? You stupid numbnut.
Yeah.
Homicide.
If you-
You know why they do that? You stupid
Not
numbnut.
one man in this
Because
world
she was
has gone
kissing
to
it.
prison for killing a
She
zygote.
was
Yeah.
kissing
That's
it.
just a total
You
point.
numbnut,
It's a
bitch.
dumb one,
That's why
and
they
you might
got
wanna
it for
find
fucking
another white
murder.
man
You
to use that
numbnut,
with because
bitch.
you will
Okay.
lose
Yeah,
every
stupid
time
cow.
with me.
Okay, Nate, what are you saying, Nate?
Alright. So I got a couple of things, like real quick.
No man should be talking about this
Hold
shit.
up.
So one, he's talking about how, getting an abortion and all that, whatever. But then he just said like a couple of weeks ago that they should destroy the whole water fountain, all the water in Iran, and you know how many people that would have killed?
It's a good point.
That was fine
Yes,
though.
and here's the difference.
But
But that was fine though. No, there's no difference. Death is a death is a death.
Baby. One is made by hand, brick, and mortar, and one
You
is
think
a
nobody's
life.
pregnant over there?
That's the difference. I know.
But do you think anybody's pregnant over there?
It's far, far different.
How is it different? How is it different? Explain. How is it different? Conservative. How is that different? You're taking, and as he rightfully pointed out, a lot of them you're taking out a pregnant Iranian women in the process. How is that different?
Did I ever say there was anybody in the building? Did I ever say there was anybody around the building?
Oh my!
I said the water.
The water supply.
The water that people drink
is
of.
a viable target in a war.
He's-
And again, it is not the same thing as abortion. Please
Okay, so then-
try
so-
again and do better.
We're not
So let me ask this then. So when men get their shit snipped, so they don't have kids, they should get something too, right?
He's talking about
Let me
vasectomies.
ask you a question.
No, just answer my question. I'll answer your question. Like we'll do that.
I apologize. What's the man's name?
Nate, like Nate Dogg. I got hoes.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Like Tim said just a moment ago, if I beat up a woman that's pregnant and she loses that child, am I being arrested for double homicide?
Yes, but can I ask you a question now?
That's a yes sir.
You didn't. Wait, hold on. Conservative. Conservative. Wait a minute. Wait, hang on. Conservative. Hold on, Nate. Hold on, Nate. Conservative. He asked you a question first. You didn't answer his. You threw one back at him. He still wants his original question answered, and then you can ask him.
All right. His original question is no, and I'll tell you why it's no. Because until a man puts the seed in a woman, child, meaning that the egg is fertilized, then there is no baby to kill. But once the egg has been fertilized, that is life, and then that is murder. So therefore,
but the same thing, but the same concept you're trying to say, the sperm itself is the child.
No, I answered yours. Now
I answered your question. I said yes, but check this out. I just said yes.
Hold on, Nate. Hold on.
Yes, I answered that.
Hold on, Nate.
If a woman kicks me in the balls, does she get like $1 million murders? Does she? If she kicks me in the balls, those are the kids. No matter what, that's just your hypothetical. If the chick is pregnant, doesn't mean she's gonna actually give birth to. She can lose the child.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on, conservative. I think you. Hang on, Nate. Conservative. I think you need to hear this. Kind of funny. Repeat that. If a woman kicks you.
No,
There's a million kids in my nuts right now. If she kicks my nuts and pops my nut, those are all the kids. If she didn't do that, I would have had a kid. Same way, if she would have had an abortion, she would have had a kid. Same concept.
Tim, this is some sex shit. At the end of the day, nobody should tell a woman.
If I take the
They
life
always
of a
been
pregnant
talking,
woman,
Tim.
because I've still not heard the answer to this, and that baby dies, am I being charged with murder?
Yes.
I said yes 6 times, but you're not answering none of my questions.
No.
What he is saying to you folks is, why are you charging him with murder when they take the baby?
Because she was keeping the baby, you numb nut. When you have an AB, we're not keeping it. And guess what, you numb nuts? They usually do not have ABs only after 6 to 12 weeks. That's what it really is. Between 6 to 12 weeks, is it? The late term ones is the ones that are medically has to
4
be
minutes.
because something happened to the baby or the life of this mother. That's fucking rare. You nuts.
What you're saying is inconsistent, Daisa Grandma.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You're telling me. Yeah, it's inconsistent. What you're basically saying is, if you want to terminate the life of the unborn, it's a zygote. But if somebody else does it, it's a kid. It's not. So I'm asking you. I'm asking you. So if it's only a zygote, as conservative point. Hold on. Let me ask the question before you. If it's only a zygote. If it's look, you're interested in insulting, but you're not listening. If it's only a zygote, then why do you charge a criminal with double homicide? They don't charge him with killing the zygote.
What the fuck I'm saying? When they have an AB, 90% of the ABs are between 6 weeks and 12 weeks. That is a zygote, you numbnut.
So if you kill it,
it's the baby. Listen, and if she's keeping it, and if she is keeping it, if she is keeping the baby,
Right.
it will be charged. You stupid fuck.
Yeah.
So Tim,
baby, according to your
It's not a baby.
So Tim,
democratic state,
You guys are
when a
stupid
man
as fuck.
does
I
that
swear to
to a
God.
woman that's pregnant, it's murder.
They were
It
keeping
can't be
the
both
baby.
ways.
That's
Either
why.
murder is okay
Tim.
or it's not.
Okay.
If they see like 6 to 8
All right,
months
go ahead.
pregnant,
Okay, Nate, go ahead. Hold on, gangster. Nate.
so he said since they were going to blow up the building and everything else, right? What if I just lock the building and not let her eat?
No, to me, the whole Iranian debate, that doesn't make, because Trump was talking about taking out water supply and all kinds of other shit, which would kill
everybody,
Yeah.
babies, kids, infants.
I'm only up here to talk about the right side being
Because
wrong.
it's a contradiction.
The side of the Republicans
You guys are
saying they
hypocrites
should
for
take
real.
A woman's life because
You guys want to control women. That's what it is. The white P-man wants to control women. It's yes, ma'am. We have no control of our fucking bodies. That's disgusting.
I was like, hey, she shouldn't have her life taken. She should be put in prison for murder.
This is why our birth rate is down.
Yeah. I listen. in regards to the zygote argument, I gotta say I agree with Hans Conservative in terms of the lack of consistency. If it's a zygote between the first trimester, then why are criminals that take the life of a
Because she was keeping it.
So it's a zygote. It's only a zygote if she getting rid of it, but she keeps it as a baby.
She was keeping it.
That don't make sense. That don't.
You can't have
That is. If the woman is
Yeah.
keeping the baby and she loses it behind the man, that is murder. What are you talking about?
It makes no sense. I'm
It
consistent.
does make
I'm saying
sense.
the
That don't make
was wrong.
sense. And I'm pro.
Yes, it does.
Unlike conservative, I'm pro-choice. But what you're saying, Gangsta Grandma, does not make sense. It doesn't.
If she was going to have an AP, she would already had it, you stupid fucks. That's what I'm saying. If she was going to keep it,
What if
and
she's
she was
on the
proud
way
of
to
it,
get
and
it
she was
done?
going
What if
around
she's on
and
the way
buying
to get it
shit,
done
she
and
was
then she
keeping
didn't
it.
get it
What the
done
fuck you
because she was
motherfuckers don't
attacked?
get?
Is that man
You
committed
psycho
murder, or
bitches.
did he just...
All right, Gangsta Grandma, for time, I gotta drop you. I'll just say this, and hang on, Nature's still here, but I'll just say this. The reason why I'm saying what she said is inconsistent is, if it's a zygote, that's going to be based on the time of, it's evolved so far. That doesn't, the terminology don't change because the mom decided I'm going to kill it now. If she's on her way to the clinic, it doesn't go from being a baby to a zygote all of a sudden. At some point, it goes, whatever the stages are, you name them. But as I just stated, if a man commits a crime and costs her the life of that unborn baby, and it's only 5 weeks alone, they charge him with murder. As conservative rightfully points out, nobody's ever been charged with killing a zygote. So to me, what she said, even though I am 100% pro-choice, I don't think what she said is consistent. Nate, do you disagree with that?
No, not really, because if I'll be one who gets arrested. It's not like I could get pregnant.
Right.
So, I'm looking at it a whole different way. He doesn't want to answer that.
No, I agree. Now, I agree with you. I agree with you in regards to the Iranian.
Like a couple months ago, he stick to that.
I
He kept
already
going at him.
answered that.
He's like, yeah, it's just water. It's just this. No, but that's the food source.
already
When
answered
you
this
know they
question.
going, you're not letting me talk. You want to talk? I'll wait again that's what you want to do. Because I asked a couple questions, you won't answer them.
I'm telling you, I already answered your question.
No, you said you didn't want to talk about that. You said you wanted to stick with. You said it's mortar and everything else. What I said was, so if it's mortar and everything else, and if you lock the door.
All right, let me hear his question, conservative.
And
Repeat.
don't let her eat. Say you locked the door. You got 100 pregnant. You didn't do nothing to her. You just locked the door. She can't get out.
Yeah, my
That's the
opinion.
order.
My
That's the rule.
opinion.
That's
My
the
opinion is this is what I'll say, Nate, in regards to what conservatives say. My opinion is that conservative he's not as pro-life if it's involved during war, even if it's taking the life of an innocent mother and child.
I just wanted him to say that, but not try to say that he was. Because what he was thinking on was
That's completely not true.
Then you would admit,
you kill the water source.
Yeah.
They're gonna die.
Blowing up a building is not.
They're gonna die
murdering a
because
child.
you did that.
I did
You're
not
gonna.
say that there were
you-
people inside the
If I have a nuke and I aim it at the Empire State
standing
Building, it's going to kill everybody
structure.
around it,
It's not a life
but I'm going to
form,
still
and
hit the
it is a
building.
legitimate target.
well,
That's the difference.
okay,
One is alive, one is not.
conservative, if you talk about cutting off water supplies, they got babies in the fucking area. If he's talking about bombing desalination plants, or like when he's got Cuba in the dark right now, you're harming pregnant moms.
I can sit here and tell you that war sucks. War does suck, but you can't have a war if you don't blow up buildings or take.
So
out
what is Cuba?
infrastructure.
So why is Cuba in the? So why is Cuba? No, why is Cuba in? Wait, hold on. Why is Cuba in the dark? Why is Cuba in the dark? We're not at war with Cuba. What we're doing to Cuba right now is harming unborn babies over there. Why are they in the dark? We're not at war with them.
I apologize. I apologize. I thought he was talking about Iran.
We're talking about in general.
I was wrong.
We're talking about in general because I'm going to suggest to you that what we're doing to Cuba, we are aborting babies. You just ain't calling it that. What Trump is doing to Cuba, you're hurting unborn children. Guaranteed you're doing that. And we're not at war with them. We're not at war with them at all.
Well, if we're not at war with somebody, then I don't agree with blowing up salination plants and shit like that. If we are at war with somebody, then that's a totally different thing.
But your side says we're not. Your side says it's an excursion.
To be swapped over to the war subject.
Well,
I came up here for
are we
a
in?
very specific thing, which was to say the Republicans in this instance are wrong.
Your side says it's not. But even with your explanation, your side is saying we're not at war with Iran. So even with your explanation, they're saying we're not at war. So they're killing unborn babies. We're not at war with them, is what they say.
Are we firing missiles? Are we firing missiles at them?
So is your president lying?
Are we dropping bombs?
Is your president lying then?
Firing missiles?
Is your president? If your president says
yes.
Okay.
If we're firing missiles and we're dropping bombs, absolutely we're at war.
Okay, so
absolutely, you can call it a conflict, you can call it whatever you want, but if we're dropping bombs and missiles and they're shooting at us, which they are, okay, then we're at war. We're at war. That's simple. That's not a hard thing to say.
All right, last word to Nate. I got to move it on for time. Go ahead, Nate. Nate, last word.
They're shooting at our military. That's what war is. War goes after soldiers. You're talking about destroying water that feeds the regular citizens. You saying that they're part of the war too?
I'm saying you can't have a war with another country, unfortunately, without some people getting hurt. If you could, that would be wonderful. I've never heard of a war like that in my lifetime, but hey, if it's possible, let's go for it.
All right.
Maybe we could just take out the people and change their minds that without killing any innocents. I've never heard that happen. You explain to me, what war did that happen in?
It's never happened. Nate, I got to move it on for time, man. Thank you. And Hands of Conservative, it's going to be, this topic is going to do this anytime we come up, but I do appreciate you coming through. You're not very popular. You don't give a damn about that. You're about protecting the life of the unborn. You and I disagree on this topic, but I appreciate you coming through.
Hey, man, support your local liberal.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 35,000. Listen, it's going to be a polarizing topic from now to the end of time. It just is. I mean, we don't run from controversial topics. We don't limit or censor folks because they have a difference of opinion. I saw some folks in the comments, a man can't speak on this or get off this topic or whatever the case may be. That's not reality, folks. Whether you agree that a man should be able to say anything about what a woman does with her body doesn't change the fact that they can vote in ways that our government does do that. So because they can vote that way and because it's what's going on in our political theater, I let folks speak on it. It is what it is. That's how the system works. I think women speak on a whole lot of men issues that you could make the same argument if you wanted to. Certainly when it comes to parental rights for men, women speak on that all the time. Do you tell them, no, you shouldn't be, whatever. Anyway, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 35,000. Thanks for the hat and mustache, Smokey. You say, why? Because Congress hasn't approved. Okay, if he cares so much, why don't he go and adopt? That's the same argument they throw at the left when it comes to immigration. If you care so much about immigrants, why don't you let them in your house? That's a good counter argument. If you care so much about the unborn, why don't you help out the mom or adopt children? And for the most part, they don't do that, just like the Democrats don't take in immigrants. But there are good counterpoints. In the comments, someone says, okay, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that because it is in a different language. If a man is able to execute ABs, a man should be able to speak on it. That's a weak stance, in my opinion. You said if a man is able to execute ABs. What do you mean by execute it? Oh, you mean take out the abortionist? You mean if a man is able to carry out a death sentence on somebody that, okay, I'll accept the opinion. And by the way, I missed a bunch of super chats, and thank you folks that have been supporting the program. Evil B Babu says, Tim, you are buffering on YouTube. I switched it over to Wi-Fi, so that problem should go away. But thank you for advising me of that. I was on 4G. Also, I saw Den or somebody made a statement. I'm trying to see if I can find it before we continue on. Talking about far left versus far right. Should a man go to jail if he knew a girl was about to get an AB? No, I don't. Well, first of all, I'm pro-choice, so I don't think anybody should go to jail. Unlike my last caller, I don't think anybody should go to jail for terminating the life of the unborn. You don't know what that person is going through. I don't believe you should ever force someone to become a parent, and when they're telling you they're not ready. Yeah, they had unprotected sex. Yeah, they were irresponsible. But that don't mean you make them go along with 18 years of parenthood and expect that to be in the best interest of the child. So I don't believe that you should force somebody into parenthood. So definitely I don't believe in forcing somebody to snitch, which is what Denkel is asking. If the father knew the woman was going to terminate the child and he didn't do anything about it, should he go to, so what should he be, kidnap her and lock her down? Force him to call the authorities? No, I don't favor forced snitching on any level. Anyway, continuing on with the program, we're talking about far left versus far right politicians, because make no mistake about it, Massachusetts passed this law they're talking about. And before I take the next caller, because the last conversation went on for a while, some of you folks may have not heard what we're discussing, and in regards to us talking about far right versus far left politicians. This is what we're discussing.
Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey just signed a law which, in essence, allows for the deletion of babies to the point of birth. Now, previously, the state had a 24-week gestational limit on ending pregnancies. That is no more. Here's the gleeful signing of this bill. Take a look.
And they just show her signing the bill. Now, I don't know if any woman is actually doing this, though. Even if the law says you can terminate the life of the unborn right up to birth, I don't know how many women actually are terminating 7, 8, 9-month-old fetus. I mean, to me, I would assume that's pretty damn rare. But the law says you're not going to be punished for doing it. But we're talking about far left versus far right. Now, that would be a far left stance. Far right.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. One signature that could be the first step toward overturning the Supreme Court's landmark Roe v. Wade decision that legalized abortion. Just over an hour ago, Alabama's Republican Governor Kay Ivey signed into law the most restrictive abortion bill in the country. The bill passed the state Senate last night. It outlaws abortion at every stage of pregnancy with exemptions for serious health risks, but not for rape or incest. Doctors who perform an abortion could face 99 years in prison. Critics of the bill point out that's the same or even less time than a convicted rapist. And if they even attempted, a doctor could be locked up for 10 years. That is significant, but as I touched on, there's the bigger picture, what it could mean for the fate of Roe v. Wade. A Republican sponsored the bill in the House.
99 years in prison, potentially, for a doctor that terminates the life of the unborn. That's far right. We're talking far left versus far right.
New state bill is equating abortion to murder. WSMV investigative reporter Stacey Cameron reports 2 Republican lawmakers want prosecutors to seek the death penalty against anyone getting an abortion here in Tennessee.
I'm just simply saying, what's the difference between far left and far right? We're talking about radicals. So we are talking about this. So looking in the comments, and by the way, we are also discussing the fact that Wisconsin decided not to go with, her name is Francesca Hung. The Republicans were salivating, hoping that this woman who was talking about everything from, far left politics to literally getting rid of Thanksgiving. And she's on, she's quoted as saying getting rid of Thanksgiving. So this is her on the screen here, Francesca Hung. She was a Democrat candidate for governor in Wisconsin, and she came close to winning that. The Republicans were salivating. They really wanted her to be the nominee, so it would make it easier for them to win. She lost. She lost, and she lost to a candidate that Trump is endorsing for the Republican, who won. Trump's endorsement won, but Trump's guy is an election denier who didn't want to certify the 2020 election in Wisconsin. So I'm asking the question, far left versus far right, how is either one any worse or better than the other? I mean, these socialist candidates versus election deniers. How do you make sense of it all? Going back to the box, we'll go straight to Bop Good evening, Bob. In the comments, fuck that chopstick. Oh my God. Gen X, that is racist, period. Referring to the woman as a chopstick something. I don't know. Anyway, going back to the box, we'll bring up the next guest. That was really racist of you, Gen X. The guy, aren't you the one that said you're not racist? That was very racist. Apparently, I can't bring up my next guest. I'll go to another one. Tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, I need you folks to smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm and certainly helps the program out indeed. And help people out with the hat mustache, TikTok cap goals. I haven't solicited that much, but I'm doing so now. Terry, is that Terry Armstrong? Terry Armstrong, good evening. Welcome to the program. Terry, can you hear me?
Hey, Tim, I didn't mean to hit the button.
Okay, I'll go ahead and drop you. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know why I get guests, and he's not, I've had a bunch of these lately. Why some guests are in, and then when you accept them, I don't know why their devices are telling them to do this, but we'll continue on with Jim. HIV and dude love to call U.S. monkeys, huh? Him and dude. Who is dude? Jim, are you there? Jim.
Hey, sorry, Tim. I accidentally hit the wrong button.
All right. Fair enough.
Appreciate it.
Fair enough. Maybe that's what it is. People are hitting the wrong button. I can't speak on that while you're doing that, but we'll go to Stick the Ruler. I do see it now, didn't Cal?
What's going on?
Not much at all, Stick. Far left and far right candidates. I don't know if you've heard the show so far.
Yeah, a little bit. I heard a little bit of back and forth. I really couldn't hear it clearly. However, I heard I think it was Handsome Conservative and Gangsta Grandma going through it.
Yeah. What do you think about? You got a loud background there. The Democrats and all of these Democrat socialists versus the right propelling election deniers. We're asking, what is the difference? I mean, if you want to, far left candidates you hear about a lot. The Democrats don't make a big fuss about far right candidates, but they absolutely do exist. Whether we're talking about election deniers or people that want to get women death penalty for terminating the life of the unborn. Why don't the Democrats make more of a fuss about far right candidates?
Because they're trying to get the country straight. One person on the far right shouldn't be a factor. It should be, the process in the sense of how Congress passed laws and shit. It should not just be focused on one, minute section or person in Congress and we gonna focus on that. No, man, people out here hungry and shit. Gas is high. You know what I mean? Rent is going up. Motherfuckers don't want to pay you. There's all sorts of real shit going on, and these motherfuckers is worried about trans and goddamn gay folks and illegals. That's what they call them.
Well, but they do. When you say illegals, they do believe these folks are causing some of the problems. They believe the illegals are increasing the crime rate. They believe the illegals are taking people's jobs. They're taking resources, taking tax money, taxpayer resources like healthcare. They believe the illegal immigrants are causing problems.
If they're taking the jobs and Trump is getting rid of them, as he says he is, why is the jobs in the negative?
Well,
what the fuck is going on?
Well,
he's deported a whole bunch of people. Let him tell it, or put them in detention centers. So they not in the field. They're not doing shit. Why we got negative jobs?
Well, according to Trump, there's more people working now than in the history of the country.
23,000 less jobs minus 23,000. That's everybody working. Man, stop it. Trump ain't shit. Trump is a fucking liar. It is what it is. I'm here to say it. Like, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. All y'all motherfuckers that like Trump, that support Trump, y'all ain't shit. Your mamas ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit. And you should have got fucking swallowed.
Wait a minute.
Or spilt on the goddamn floor.
That's not only insulting. That's disrespectful to the folks wearing the red hat. First of all, let me make it clear. There are legitimate reasons to support Trump. I cannot say this any louder. You don't believe there's any legitimate reason at all to have voted for President Trump?
Not at all. He's a fucking con man. And all you motherfuckers from the South that voted for a city slicker, y'all ain't shit either. all you coonerish ass dudes that voted for him, y'all ain't shit either.
Is that a
Is
that the new word?
Everybody's on the chopping block.
Is that the new word of the day? Coonerish. I think I've ever.
Yes. Right.
Wait a minute.
Right.
How about my guest, handsome conservative, who is a staunch defender of the life of the unborn? You think he should have voted liberal?
No, I just really think when it comes to certain shit, men need to shut the fuck up. Unless you're a husband in a thriving relationship, and you and your wife got an understanding where that's his input can be inputted because he's the husband and she's the wife, and they understand the dynamic of what's going on, and both of them need to talk. If you ain't that, shut the fuck up. As a man, shut the fuck up.
How about him?
You don't have no say so.
How about him stating the best interest of the child is to never be murdered? I mean, you don't think a man should be able to voice that sort of opinion? I think it's in the child's best interest to not kill it.
The child ain't being murdered every time. Sometimes it's in the best interest of the mother for things to go the way that it has to go medically. Sometimes it's best for the child for things to go that way medically, because the child could be born with birth defects and all sorts of stuff. And then guess what that means? You as a taxpayer have to come out of your pocket because this child that was born, it hasn't developed because of things that happened in the mother. See, people all the time put their imprint on other people. Some people just need to shut the fuck up, sit back, understand it's not your fucking problem. If it's anything to do spiritually, then that's God. You ain't God. You can't judge nobody. You can't tell nobody what the fuck to do. You have to be a Christian and understand that only God can judge you. But shut the fuck up.
But stick. Here's the issue. Even though I keep making it clear for folks to understand, I am pro-choice, but the understanding is, let's say you got two folks that have been trying to have a child forever and they cannot, trying to have their own child, not adopt. They've been trying to have their own child and they cannot for whatever reason God has created. And they hear that their neighbor is fertile and has terminated the life of maybe one or two kids. You don't see where they may feel some kind of way that God has blessed this woman and she's terminating God's blessings, and they can't do it. You don't understand at all why they may feel that way.
Listen. Again, you taking your feelings because you can't get pregnant, maybe because you was out there gallivanting, catching diseases, and your ass got sterile. Don't get mad just because this woman that apparently can get pregnant and don't tend to have it. That's her choice. Man. Shut the fuck up. Stay out of her business. Apparently she ain't in yours because she keep getting impregnated and you don't. Fuck wrong with you?
I mean, people do mind other people's business. I mean, listen, if you see somebody waving a Charlie Kirk flag around, you have an opinion about them. I mean, it's just people have opinions on what others do.
My opinion is one thing. Me going and getting in somebody's face and trying to create a law to be in somebody's bedroom, womb, or stomach, or any other fucking part is another thing. My opinion is my opinion. But going forward, me trying to create laws or lobby to create a law to fuck with somebody, man, fuck all that. The people who need to be fucked with is them people that was on that fucking list. Them pedos. Them motherfuckers is the ones that need to be fucked with and found out and dry snitched on and any other fucking thing. And put up under the goddamn noose and any other fucking thing I can think of. They make me sick. Now, that part right there, by law, you ain't supposed to be doing, so therefore I can stick my 2 cents in and say something about it, because you're nasty as fuck.
Well, but what about, Handsome Conservative made an interesting point where he says murder is officially against the law. So why are we allowing a woman to commit that act?
And he's the same old motherfucker that talking about taking out people in goddamn Iran for fucking up their water supply. Man, you think I'm finna listen to a mass murderer? He a fucking mass murderer. Telling you, oh, God said this, but we can go over there and fuck those brown people up. Man, ain't nobody listening to his old crusty ass, man. I used to consider him to be a real deal, cool person. But that shit is
You
man,
just have a
stop
different.
that
It
shit.
can still be cool. You just
Man,
have a difference
no,
of opinion with him.
He an old bag of reacts.
An old bag of reacts. In the comments, somebody, Chris.
Old bag of reacts.
Chris says, I understand both sides of this subject. Chris, I sympathize with you because I'm the same way. Even though I'm pro-choice, I do understand some of the sentiment from the pro-life side. I may not I may not agree with them or be on their side, but I understand where they're coming from. I do understand. So I'll leave it. Let me ask you, do you believe the Democrat? Now, have you heard about this Democrat socialist in Wisconsin that lost last night that was talking about canceling Thanksgiving?
And she lost.
Yeah. Do you think the Democrats? Do you think the Democrats dodged a bullet with that?
No, they didn't dodge a bullet. She wasn't gonna win in the first place. She wasn't like, listen, when it comes down to certain things in this country, you gotta know shit ain't gonna change.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Stick. When I say dodge the bullet, I mean if she had a won, you're right. Now the Republicans are gonna win that gubernatorial spot.
Listen, she wasn't gonna win in the first place. When you talking about Thanksgiving, this is something that the white folks in this country really love and want to push, that the Pilgrims were basically taught, even though they don't say it that way, but they were taught by the Native Americans, the indigenous, how to fucking survive. And they would end up, instead of being in famine, they end up being fruitful, having lots of food to eat.
You gotta
They
retort.
were thankful because they ass didn't know what the fuck they was doing and had to be taught by somebody else.
You
They
gotta
were the lowest of the low,
Stick.
and the motherfuckers out the insane asylums, like Trump says. That's where he gets the shit from.
You gotta retort. Conservative.
This is old Gen X. Listen, buddy, I think
He said old MAGA reacts, not Gen X, MAGA reacts.
You old MAGA
This
reacts.
is old MAGA reacts. I apologize. I think you misunderstood what I said. I said a building is not alive, a child is. And actually, I came up to defend and say that the Republicans were wrong in this instance. So that's what I originally came up to say.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I mean,
But you also said you also said that it's okay to wipe out Iran's water supply, but it's okay. It's not okay to smurder a zygote. So I mean, you unaliving people that's already alive, though.
Are just another way of saying
You believe in live abortions, huh?
As far as Iran goes, a building is not alive. A human being is alive. You can't compare the two. You can't murder a building.
So hold on. Time out, please, time out. Let me get this straight.
For killing a child, they should get life because it's a murder, but they shouldn't be murdered because that would be the same thing. It would be wrong.
Okay. Stick.
So let me get this straight. What you telling me is, when they hit a building with 100, and I believe it was like 62 to 72, 100 kids, 172
The school.
kids.
The school.
It was in a building. When they hit the building and unalive those children, it's not the same. Even though they were already alive. So you believe in live abortion? You believe that?
Hold on, conservative. Let him finish. Conservative, let him finish his point. Conservative, hold on. Conservative, let him finish his point.
So you believe in unaliving 172 kids that were already here. They already was on their way to having a career. They actually wasn't in the womb. You believe that those kids and the adults that were in the building all can be unalive, and it's not smurder.
No. How many
Man, you an asshole.
Let him-
you an asshole when the truth ain't in you. You an asshole when the truth ain't in you, man. Come on, man.
Wait, stick. Hold on. You didn't hear his answer. He said no. He said no. He don't think that's right. He actually he didn't defend that. He said no. It's not right.
That's murder, Stick. We're agreeing on the same thing. You're thinking I'm saying it's not murder. Of course that's murder. I'm against taking a life, whether it's the kids in the school or the baby in the womb. What is so wrong with that? I'm defending and saying that the Republicans are wrong for trying to kill somebody for abortion. You shouldn't kill somebody for abortion because it's murder.
Okay.
You should be agreeing.
Okay, I get that, but do you still believe that they should mess up their water supply in Iran?
I said taking out a building without people in it.
He's asking you about the water supply, though. What about the water supply?
I said the water supply.
You cannot have a war without blowing up buildings. It just doesn't work.
Well, you do understand deliberately taking out the water supply for a community. That's not a military target. That's going to predominantly injure far more innocent people than folks that are in uniform. So when Trump says he's taking out desalination plants, he is harming regular moms and kids and shit. Do you?
Okay, but isn't he in charge of the military?
Yeah, he's committing a war crime. Yeah, it's called a war crime. Yeah, it's called a war crime. The guy in charge of the military is talking about war crimes. Yes.
Did he take out the plant?
I believe.
Or did he just say he was?
No, they have hit one. I know they hit at least one or two. They actually did that.
They did that?
Yes.
Be a legitimate target.
How is taking out a desalination plant so that people have drinking water? How the hell is that a military target?
Because he said it was. He's the president. He controls the military.
Oh my God! So if he says the Eiffel Tower is a military target, they can just take out the Eiffel Tower. Is that what you're saying?
They're not allowed to follow illegal orders. Did they carry out the order?
So Tim, can I talk, please?
Sure, go ahead.
He's still talking. So my thing is this. So if he's the president and he says the Eiffel Tower is a military target, they're gonna take down the Eiffel Tower is what you're saying.
It's a good chance they will, yeah. I mean, it's a war crime, but he will be held accountable. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people that were for the Third Reich that got off, but either you follow instructions or the country's going to punish you. Yeah, they would do it.
No, so you mean right now a country that ain't got nothing to do with it, he can just say, "Oh, that's a military target."
What do you think? What do you think? Venezuela, fucking Cuba, he threatened Greenland. Yes, our military would go fuck with those people, even though it is 100% innocent people. Yes, our military would do that. You could find people in the military. You think Pete Hegseth, if ordered, wouldn't carry out war crimes? He wouldn't order soldiers to commit war crimes?
I definitely do. Yeah. That's my point. Because like everything I'm asking you is a fucking absurd ass question.
It's a war crime.
The president should know he shouldn't be fucking doing it. That's my point. And it's like nobody. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody.
The president, the president to you is what a mom that has had a bunch of pregnancy terminations is to handsome conservative. Both in both the Europeans, they don't mind killing innocent people. I feel confident that Trump would have no problem. He tried to throw an Olympian in jail for 10 years for allegedly damaging a reflective pool when the Justice Department was saying the guy is innocent. Trump does not mind harming innocent people. I think that's clear.
So how about this one? And this was right in front of your goddamn face. Trump is so fucking nasty and so fucking deranged. He's willing to, in front of everybody, get on fucking Air Force One Takari jet and then get off on the backside and then get on the real fucking jet and then left everybody else on the fucking plane as a fucking target.
Yeah.
That's how nasty your motherfucking president is, and I can't believe y'all motherfuckers is up here capping and caping for this bitch.
I gotta move it on.
I gotta go too because I'm getting hot and these motherfuckers are stupid as shit. I'ma holler.
All right, Stick, always a pleasure. All right, conservative, you got your point across. I don't think he totally agrees with you.
All I wanted to say was one thing, dude, and I think Stick didn't understand. Blowing up a school full of children is murder. Having an abortion is murder. I'm completely against children. I don't understand what the problem here is. I don't understand how you can't understand that.
Because everybody don't view a 3-week-old, what, embryo or zygote or what. Everybody don't view that as a child. You do. That's where the difference is.
Okay, but Stick came up and made a false claim. He made a claim, and I respect Stick. I got no problem with Stick. He came up and he said that I was okay with that. And I clearly said 12 times it's murder. I don't stand for murder.
Well, you have tried to defend it before as a war target. Certainly the desalination plants. You have somewhat defended that in the past.
Alive. A building is not alive.
Hey, come on, wait. Conservative, come on. You think any building we hit in Iran is completely vacant? Every building we take out, somebody fucking dies inside. There is no empty buildings getting blown up in Iran. So when you say a building is not it's people.
If you hear that there's a missile strike coming your way, I bet you they're fleeing.
You think
I don't think they're standing there going, okay, let's all die.
You think they're warning them ahead of time that a missile strike is coming so they can get out of the building?
Well, if they're not, then their country really does have a problem. They should warn them.
How the hell can you warn somebody that a projectile
how can you warn somebody that a missile is coming through the air that millions of people can see?
That ain't how this works.
Incoming?
Handsome conservative, if they're flying F-18s or whatever the hell they're flying over your country, this shit happens in a matter of seconds. There is no, not to mention they blow up the communication so that you can't warn people anyway. There's no way to warn people. There's no way to warn people of this stuff. You think the Ayatollah would have been all huddled together if there was a way to warn them? And by the way, we killed a lot of kids when we took out the Ayatollah as well. Their whole family was with them.
We can disagree about the war, but as far as killing children, I think we're on the same side. I think murdering children is wrong. Well, we're probably not on the same side, but my opinion is killing children is wrong.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I got to move it on. Thank you. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Hot topic, I get it. Some folks don't want us talking about it, but this is what we do. Looking in the comments real quick. Jesus even said, if you have ears, then hear, but extremists killed him. Somebody says, after saying that, you never support Democrats for that same reason. Don't know what you mean by that. You just called them a building. He did say that. Tap the screen, commercial break, show the stupid video again. Pobel, I like Pobel in the comments. That's my favorite insulted. Most of his commentary is negative. The Iranians are cheering Trump on saying, keep on blowing things up, keep attacking. I don't think the Iranians are cheering any of this, but they do. Listen, we killed the Ayatollah and his son is in power. So my guess is, with him being in power, he don't have anything to lose. So when people say, well, the Iranians don't give a shit about their own people and things like that. Look, I care about life. If I was in charge of America and my family was in charge before me, and I only got the position because an enemy blew up my whole family, I might be willing to fight to the death more than I normally would in terms of negotiating too. I mean, you don't blow up the man's whole family, like his extended family. So when you're sitting back wondering, we don't kill all these people, why the hell won't they negotiate? Well, because the guy that's in power, you've put him in a situation where he has nothing to lose at this point. I mean, you've taken out his wife, his mom, his dad, fucking cousins and shit. If you did that to Trump, let's take our own president. Let's say a country with equal or greater power than the United States. There may not be one right now, but let's for fiction's sake say that there is. Country that has equal or greater military power than the United States. And they open up the war by taking out Ivanka, Melania, Eric, Barron, take his whole family. Now I know my Democrats are going to salivate with this fictional story, but let's just say they take out Trump's whole family. You think he's going to be willing to negotiate? Or do you think he would be willing to force us to fight that country to the last man? Because he don't have nothing to lose at that point. So that's what I'm saying. It makes sense to some degree why their person in power, the son, who is the son of the Ayatollah or whatever, he don't have nothing to lose. You don't kill everybody that means something to him. So he ain't got nothing to lose. Looking in the comments, Trump wouldn't care as long as you give him some money. Yikes. Let me go back to the box. Many anti-abortionists are Bible thumpers without realizing the Bible supports abortion. Example, forcing a woman to abort with poison water in the book of Numbers. I don't know enough about the Bible to agree or disagree, but that's interesting. Says many anti-abortionists are Bible thumpers without realizing the Bible supports abortions. And he's saying that they talk about it in the book of Numbers. Wow. Let me go back to the box. We'll start out with Dencal. Good evening, Dencal. Tap the screen, get us on up to 60,000. Help you bore out with the hat, mustache, TikTok, cap, goals. Dencal, good evening. Welcome to the show. Now, you've been hearing a lot of this. What brought you up? We'll just go with that.
Well, I can hardly say what brought me up because the topic switched so fast. But I can just say that I can't believe that half a conservative was on here talking about he didn't understand the difference between blowing up a desalination plant and killing people. That's like if I put somebody out of my house in the dead of winter in the middle of nowhere, I'm not killing them, am I?
I get your point. In other words, it's highly likely they're going to perish.
Right. It's more than highly likely if you hit somebody with a bomb, they're going to perish.
Yeah.
So, for not being able to delineate when you say that somebody is a murderer, because what Democrats don't do is we don't call people murderers because of their political or even some moral stance. Because what he's saying when he admits that the government may have did something that murdered people means that now he supports the murderer.
Well, he changed his tune somewhat, and he's now suggesting with Trump blowing up schools and stuff, he's now saying it's wrong. I told him in the past he did somewhat defend it, but now he is admitting that's wrong.
Okay, but he still was when you ask him about stuff like capital murder. Okay, Trump is for capital murder. When he allows states to do it, which we know he can stop them because we know Biden stopped states from doing it by putting a moratorium on them, he is allowing murder, which makes him a murderer.
But he also, but conservative is actually pretty consistent on this. He also is not a fan of capital punishment either. He stated, just like he believes a doctor that terminates the life of the unborn should face a harsh, stiff punishment, he also believes the warden or the state penal institution that terminates the life of a criminal, he believes that person should be punished too. He's pretty consistent on that.
Yeah, I understand he's consistent that what he believes. But if you admit that those people that you support are actually performing those things.
Okay. He said it's
I don't
wrong.
understand. Like he's saying on one hand, me personally, I don't get down with none of the murder in no cases. But my president does, I'm gonna give him a pass.
Well, it could also be, Dencal, a lesser of two evils thing. There's a lot of MAGA that don't support everything Trump does, but they're like, well, Kamala Harris is going to destroy the fucking country. So even though we don't support everything Trump does, we didn't have a choice. It was either him or this woman that was going to implement socialism or whatever the hell they want to say.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. So what they're saying is we're not going to support somebody that we don't know what they're going to do, but we do support somebody that we know they support murder.
Well, they believe that Kamala Harris was... Remember, Trump was saying that the Democrats were in favor of letting a woman give birth, taking the baby home, and coming back the next day and deciding with the doctor whether they want to terminate it or not. So folks who did not vote for Kamala, because that he was saying that happened in California, which is her state as well. Folks who didn't vote for Kamala believe that's what she was going to be doing, is that, which they believe is even worse than the stuff we're talking about of Trump.
And I could understand that point, that position, if I was anti-murder. But now, once I know that the candidate that I voted for is for whatever types of murder, rather it be for, okay, because now some of the states and some of the people are saying, okay, we go along with 6-week abortions. Democrats disapprove of that because it takes more than that sometimes for people to know that they're pregnant.
Right.
But so now they're saying it's all right to murder people as long as it's before 6 weeks.
Yeah. What it is really is, people are picking, and I get your point, and I don't think this is something that is unique to handsome conservative or just Republicans, because the Democrats do some of this too. People are picking and choosing when they're okay with murder. That's really what this is.
That's my whole point. Don't come on here talking about something, you all against murder, but it's only murder when the other people do it, not when my people do it.
That's exactly what it is. Just like there are a lot of Democrats that believe, like Gangsta Grandma, a perfect example. She believes it's a zygote when the mom is going to terminate the baby, but she supports charging a criminal with taking the life of the unborn if the mom was going to keep it, which means now it's a baby. Because nobody's going to get charged with taking the life of a zygote. So, yeah.
But what I will say about that is that we have this thing where we get to decide when it's something a baby, when it's a this and when it's a that. We don't listen to scientists because scientists have a totally different outlook on this as far as when is a baby viable.
I don't know, because let's there are preemies that came out of the womb at 5 months. So if a woman terminates a 5-month-old fetus, is that murder? I mean, because there are some fetus that were taken out of the womb that early and was able to be sustained. They got them in incubators and under heat lamps and all that shit, but they were able to keep it alive.
What about 3 months?
But this is what I'm saying. You said scientists. The point is, the scientists are not even all in the same category. They got different opinions on it.
No, they don't have a difference in opinion on when a baby is viable. They know if the baby is being born at 2 to 3 months, it's not viable.
Yeah, that early. But once you get past the 2 to 3 months, you're going to have some scientists giving different answers than other ones.
So why isn't the argument then 12 weeks, 16 weeks, or whatever the scientists say? We bypass it, and we saying the moment I motherfucking nut, it's a goddamn baby.
But you know the reason. Religion. You're talking science. A lot of the anti-abortion crowd are basing it on religion. That's why science is not involved as much.
Exactly. But then if it's religion, I keep going back. If it's religion that tells them about death, they can't be picking and choosing death, because Jesus was killing a whole bunch of folks in the Bible.
It's complicated. I'll just which is one reason why I'm not very religious, because there is so many contradictions and hypocrisy. But it's complicated. That's all I'll say. It's complicated. Let's jump to something else. You and I probably don't disagree on any of this. You heard about the Democrat socialist candidate in Wisconsin running for governor that lost?
Yes.
Did the Democrats dodge a bullet?
I don't think that they necessarily dodged a bullet. I think it's leveling out. I think the Republicans did such a good job
demonizing
fear-mongering, and telling people the DSA is taking over the whole party, and all Democrats now believe in all of the same shit.
Yeah.
If you look at El Sayed, you look at his platform, he might have been supported by the DSA, but he ain't no DSA.
No, because he's even yelling out he's a capitalist, so he ain't.
You look at Hong. she was talking all that shit before, but once she became a candidate, what she say? Nah, I was just bullshit.
Yeah, but then you can't. If you're going to go with that,
I get it. I'm saying, yes, the right is going to run with it, and you can't stop them. But average, everyday people who are paying attention to the candidates understand that rhetoric was to get attention.
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree with you. I gotta disagree with you on. I do believe the Democrats, by not electing Francesca Hong in Wisconsin, they dodged a bullet. Because I believe if Francesca Hong had won, their chances of winning that gubernatorial position in that state would have been significantly less. Now they have a moderate Democrat. He's an African American in Wisconsin. He's running against a Trump-backed Republican candidate that's an election denier that did not want to certify even Wisconsin's election results in 2020. So now without Francesca Hong in the competition, the Democrats have the ability to demonize the conservative candidate more than vice versa. But if it had been Hong, I want to get rid of Thanksgiving and all of that shit, I think the Democrats would have been in a worse position than they are now. So I think they dodged the bullet.
Possibly, maybe so, maybe not. But you got to also understand the opposite happened in Michigan. The person that was on the more progressive side won over the establishment. Yeah. The person that was taking the AIPAC money and all of that stuff. And now they've all come together, and she's supporting him, hand over fist, gonna be on the campaign stump with him and everything. We don't know that the same thing wouldn't happen.
I don't know in Michigan with Abdul El Said or whatever his name is. He didn't say anything as radical as get rid of fucking Thanksgiving, did he?
All you gotta say is DSA now. All you gotta say is DSA. You got Nancy Mace, a national politician, a Republican, on TV, on CNN yesterday talking about all the Muslim candidates are Trojan horses, and they want to take this country over.
Yeah.
And she says all of them should be rounded up and deported on national TV.
Wow. That's really fucking far right radical there. And I think
even far right with the Republicans. That ain't even a far-fetched statement for Republicans.
Why is the right so anti-Muslim? I'd be curious to know. Why do you think they're so anti-Muslim? And when it comes to politicians,
listen, we all know why they're anti-Muslim. We can.
I gotta ask for my studio audience. I gotta ask, why the hell are they far right? Why the hell do they don't like Muslims? I gotta get your answer on that.
They are Islamophobists. They have listened to the rhetoric that came out. Well, even before 9/11, but 9/11 it got took to a new level. Well, they was looking at anybody who was Muslim. They were doing things in the CIA and the FBI where they were interrogating mosques. They were infiltrating mosques. They were surveillancing these people without warrants. They were doing so much. It was hard for Muslims to come out and get jobs and everything.
I don't get it.
Attention to the fact that none of them all of them people that was responsible for 9/11 came out of Saudi Arabia. And this jackass of a president just the other day is about to give them access to nuclear equipment and stuff that will eventually allow them to make a bomb.
Well, the Trump administration is suggesting that he is allowing them to use nuclear material for energy purposes, not to make a bomb. So
exactly the same thing he's saying that no other country should be able to have. He wants to dictate who can have, be able to use nuclear power for energy purposes. He wants to tell who can and who cannot have it.
Yeah.
And we all know that that's going to eventually lead to having a nuclear. I don't think there's very many, if any countries at all, that just use it for nuclear power that don't have nuclear weapons.
Yeah. And I asked that question on a few lives back, is that there is a really good chance that once we give the Saudis the ability to use nuclear material to develop, energy, that in the future some of our men and women in uniform may be involved in a military conflict over there because a president in the future may be accusing Saudi Arabia of trying to enrich that material to make a bomb. That's kind of the whole deal with Iran, is that it was originally supposed to be about energy, and now they're trying to make a bomb out of it. And I mean, because like you're rightfully pointing out, huh?
It's just common sense that when we see what's happening in Iran, we see what happened with North Korea, we see what happened with what was it, Pakistan before they got it, India before they got it. We always demonize the country and say they are evil, and once they get it, they're gonna kill the whole world.
Yeah.
So it's only natural to want to have one, so nobody won't attack you.
To me, is this is gonna sound real anti-American, anti-patriotic of me, and I know my beloved MAGA are gonna say I'm fucking need to lead a country, but I don't understand how we're telling Iran you can't have a nuke because you're gonna be irresponsible, all while threatening Greenland, Cuba, Colombia, Panama, Canada. How the hell are we gonna tell them that they're irresponsible while actively doing that at the same time? Does that make sense?
No, and damn North Korea just yesterday, the day before yesterday, had a big ass test, an unannounced nuclear test. Where is that in the news that they lighting off nukes over there close to Japan, our ally? Not a fucking word.
Yeah.
That's because once you have a nuke,
they leave you alone.
Not fuck with you.
So you sound like you kind of have the same mindset I do in regards to an armed society is a polite society that the 2A crowd says. If the entire planet all has the ability to defend themselves at the nuclear level, I believe it would be less conflicts on the planet. What say you?
Yes, I would say less conflicts. It wouldn't stop conflicts, obviously, just the way you can have a town in the United States where everybody in the town has a weapon and people still get stuck up, they still get shot, they still get robbed. Will it happen less? Yeah, maybe, but look, when you got people that are mentally challenged, as many mentally challenged people as we have in the United States, they're going to be doing stuff, regardless of what you got.
Yeah.
Don't address the mental part of it. All of that other stuff is but the same way they try to make these other countries seem like all of these leaders are crazy and homicidal and suicidal. You notice there ain't none of them doing nothing homicidal.
Right.
None of them doing stuff so they die themselves.
But we actually are. I gotta move it on. But that's my point. Is we're claiming all these other countries would be irresponsible if they had bombs. We've been in more wars in the Middle East than Iran has been, and we're talking about they would be the one that's the problem. I don't get it. I don't get it. Last word to you.
I just wanted to. I know this is kind of a mercurial question, but who do you think the people back in the day that made up the laws and allowed Roe v. Wade to go into action and the people who created the abortions in the first place? Do you think they were Christians?
I'm pretty sure. I went on a tour in New Orleans, and they showed me a parish during that tour that the Catholics have aborted a lot of fucking kids. So yeah, they probably were. I mean, people were aborting kids just because it was part black and they were Christians. Yes, I gotta move it on, Dick. But yes.
They were feeding us the alligators, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. So yeah, the Christians have killed a lot of children for whatever reason you want to. They didn't want to make it. They didn't want to actually let everybody know.
It's okay to kill them the way they want to kill them.
Yeah, everybody's picking and choosing when it's okay to kill. Thanks for coming through. Tap the screen, folks. Get the lights on up to 65,000. Our abortions was happening long before Roe v. Wade. Yeah, well, true. But he's talking about doing it legally with the assistance of a physician. That's what he's talking about. If you, let's say, for instance, somebody white decided to sleep with a slave, or even during the Jim Crow era, somebody that was a person of color, and they knew it might fuck up their inheritance or fuck up their standing in the community or fuck up their chances to win an election, they were aborting children. It's just no other way to look at it. They were aborting folks, and they were also referring to themselves as God-fearing Christians. That's been happening since we've been a nation. So yes, there are plenty of Christians that have terminated the lives of children. My guess is there's a whole lot of folks that are proposing staunch defenders of pro-life legislation that has personally paid for or terminated the life of a child themselves. Just like there's a whole lot of folks on the right that are anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans, and in their past they've slept with one of them, or gave birth to one of them, or has one of them that's a child of theirs or something. Yes, it absolutely happens. There's a lot of hypocrisy in politics. Looking in the comments, if it's illegal, it will stop anyways. They'll bring back that coat hanger. Yeesh. And Giant Robot, that is accurate. That's the reason it became legal to begin with. That's the reason a lot of things that used to be illegal became legal. Is because when you make something illegal that people really, a good or a service, we can talk about prohibition and alcohol. We can talk about marijuana. When you make something illegal that people really want to purchase or an act that they really want to do, you just create a black market for that act or that product. There was a time when gay marriage, gay sex, gay relationships in America was not legal. That don't mean it wasn't happening. It just makes it go underground. This stuff is always, terminating the life of the unborn is always going to be around. All we're going to do is drive it underground, and it's going to result in the prison population maybe growing somewhat. I would also go darker and suggest it's going to increase the amount of mutants being born, because people are going to not have the medical knowledge or the availability of pharmaceuticals and equipment, attempt to terminate the life of the unborn unsuccessfully, resulting in some sort of mutant version of a human being born. So you're going to have that as well. So I mean, there's a reason why this shit became legal. It was happening. Same thing we talked about prohibition. People were still getting fucked up when it came to alcohol, when it came to smoking marijuana things. People still doing this stuff. Now, for instance, let's take marijuana, for instance. You know how many people are getting killed over that shit? Not just getting jailed, but because it's illegal, you got the dealers fighting for territory and all kinds of shit. Legalizing it stops that. Just like the Al Capone era, people were getting killed over the sale of alcohol. Now that it's legal, nobody's getting killed trying to hold down moonshine spots. So to me, the illegalization of it makes it worse. Anyway, looking in the comments though, look what happened with miscarriages. Women died trying to get help. I don't, to me, that's a darker side of it, but I absolutely agree that will happen. Tap the screen. All religions have been doing wrong since the beginning of time, says Ricky. Yeah. Iran is a country the size of Alaska, the GDP of Mississippi, and manipulating the U.S. like a third world country. I assume their GDP will go up now that they have a new straight as their own new toy now. So they're going to make a lot more money, I believe, eventually. And that's the only way Trump is going to get out of Iran, is by granting them a financial windfall. That's the only way. I'll give you an example before we take the next caller. I played this at the beginning of the video, beginning of our live, and help you boy out with the hat and mustache, TikTok cap goals, if you will. Support the program. Longtime friend of President Trump, absolute ardent supporter of President Trump, Bill O'Reilly of Fox News. He believes the Iran war was necessary. He believed it was a good thing, something we had to do. But listen to what he said just yesterday.
I don't know how much longer he can stick this out, because even if it comes out our way and the mullahs surrender, or we get what we want, which is opening of the strait and weapons inspectors, I don't know now if Donald Trump can overcome what has happened in the last 6 months. I don't know. Might be able to, if the economy snaps back hard and prices go down. But the perception is he doesn't have control over it. It may not be fair. And again, the president's doing the right thing. Can't let this nation have the nukes. But something's got to give now.
So he's even admitting that the perception is Trump don't have control of what's going on, which makes sense. Strait of Hormuz is closed, it's open. You know, their navy is at the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing they can do about it. You know, it'll be over in 2 to 6 weeks. I mean, Trump has said so many things that have not come true. I don't know why O'Reilly is saying it's unfair that the perception is that he is not in control of what's going on. But you do hear O'Reilly admitting he don't know if Trump can get out of this. MAGA reacts, what say you?
I'm waiting to see. It's looking tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of the same as O'Reilly here. I think he needed to do it because, you know, whether you guys admit it or not, they had control of that Strait of Hormuz. Even though they didn't, close it, they had control over it the whole time. They just never chose to close it.
As long as people are going through, product is moving, commerce is moving, and they're not doing anything. By the way, I don't know how you can ever stop them from having control of it other than to have permanent U.S. Involvement in that region. You'd have to put people you'd have to put Americans alone up straight, I guess, take over some Iranian territory and leave people stationed there forever. Otherwise, they can always come back and do it.
Well, no. Now, because of Trump, they're creating new ways. They're creating more pipelines. They're creating trains.
They could have done that without the war.
We can't have Iran with a knife to our throat, to our economical throat, you know?
Them pipelines can be blown up too, though. You do realize that, right?
They're a lot easier to defend than the Strait. I mean, the Strait's right there in their backyard. And it's not just where it chokes. It's pretty much the entire fucking Strait.
I don't know if you can move as much product through the pipelines. And they're blowing up the refineries that the pipelines will be connected to. I don't agree with you that the pipelines will be pretty easy to defend. I mean, these little cheap ass drones that are hitting ships, how hard would it be to convert them to start hitting pipelines?
I mean, it's only a matter of time before we solve that drone problem. The main issue is small weapons fire. Not small weapons fire as in machine guns, but small little rockets that they could shoot at a ship from a beach. I think the drones is just a matter of time before we find
I would counter your statement of it's only a matter of time before we find ways to defeat the drones with. It's only a matter of time before they upgrade what they're using above those drones. They're not going to keep using the drones. Of course, we're going to find a way to defeat them. I agree with that. But they're going to find a way to get better technology too. China and Russia being a supplier of some of it.
I mean, it's kind of the other way around. I mean, Iran supplied Russia with the drones. So I don't know. We gotta keep going, and we gotta make sure we're always on top. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's why we spend so much money on military for shit like this. The problem is, everything else, it's fucking everything else the government does. They're not doing it right. I mean, this should have been taken care of forever ago. We should have way better drones than fucking Iran. But guess what? The government sucks at doing everything.
I gotta tell you, MAGA, and this is where you and I certainly disagree, but I gotta tell you, I believe the JCPOA was adequate. I believe Tulsi Gabbard, she had no reason to lie. I believe when Tulsi Gabbard said they were not trying to develop a nuke, which is what the rest of NATO was saying as well. I believe the JCPOA was sufficient. I don't think attacking him and destroying the man's family and all this shit, I think we overdid it.
Look, they could have taken the Trump deal way before. I mean, we went a whole year and a half without attacking him. They could have taken the Trump deal.
Why would you take it?
But these people fucking.
What was Trump's deal? What was Trump's deal? Do what I say or we'll kill you?
No, give up the nukes and then give up the enrichment and become normal fucking people like the Saudis. Look at the Saudis.
So give up
They've earned our trust to the point where we're even gonna maybe allow them to have nukes.
So basically, do what we say, become normal people, or we'll kill you. He was saying that. Do what we say, or we'll kill. He got rid of the JCPOA. He put nothing in place of it other than do what we say, or we'll kill you. That is what he came up with.
I mean, the other choice is they could be rich and profitable like the Saudis. I mean, do you think the Saudis are struggling or having issues with America?
So you're saying when Trump terminated the JCPOA, he came in offering the Iranians a bunch of money and a chance to be rich?
I mean, that's always the deal with Iran. Anytime they could stop fucking acting up and, you know, they'll become normal fucking members of the world and, you know, they'll be able to be rich as fuck because they have oil.
I don't believe any of this was mentioned. I think what Obama offered.
It's just common sense, Tim. Nothing has to be mentioned. Just common sense. It's always part of the deal.
No, here's why
all their neighbors are making a ton of money off oil.
Here's why it's not common sense. Why would you make a deal with a country that just broke the last deal they made with you and came up with their? You got one of their top intelligence officials verifying you haven't done. Hold on, let me frame it. You can respond. You got one of the top okay, you've made a deal with America called the JCPOA. You got one of the top intelligence officials in that country you make the deal with stating you are not violating that deal. And yet the head of that country insists you are anyway and starts saying either you do what we say or we're going to kill you. And you're saying you should now make a new deal with that guy is what you're saying.
Look, if a deal is good for both sides keep it. When a deal sucks for one side, no matter what, eventually they're going to fucking find a way to get out of it. And that goes for any deal you fucking make. If it's good for both sides and both sides are profitable and living good, both sides are going to keep it. But the JCPOA kind of sucked because they had, say I agree with Tulsi and they weren't making a bomb. They had all the fucking parts. It's like, we're not making a bomb, but, you know, we're just going to make the materials. We're going to make nuclear materials.
So then I have to ask
you. We're not going to make the bomb. They had all the pieces, Tim.
So
what were they missing? They had the rockets. They had the nuclear material.
We knew that.
Centrifuges.
We knew that when we made the JCPOA.
Exactly. That's why it sucked. That's why the JCPOA sucked, because it let them enrich. You know, we have to trust them that they're not going past whatever percentage.
But that's the problem is that, okay, you made this deal with Obama, which Iran is looking at it. We made a deal with America. We didn't make a deal with Obama. We made a deal with America. The next American comes along and said, that was a dumb deal we made with you. We're just going to scrap that. And you got to agree to this new deal. So what do? We make a deal with Trump and then we hope that the guy that comes after him don't do the same thing?
Yeah, if the deal is good enough, then you don't.
How do we know that? We thought the deal was good enough when we made the JCPOA.
You had the entire country complaining about the JCPOA.
They're complaining about the war now.
Even the Democrats said this is just the best we could do. I remember the fucking marketing campaign. Fucking Obama and all of them got on TV. You know, a deal. This is the best deal we could do. You can't do better than this. It's not like they didn't go and say this is a great deal. They said this is the best we could do. And they sold it. You know, they tried to sell it and it sucked.
So then, based on what you're saying, if half the country was complaining with the JCPOA, Trump just tried to make a deal with them a few weeks ago that was even paying them more than the JCPOA, and half the country was complaining about that. So what? So when it comes to making a deal with Trump, if half the country is complaining, as you say, what are you saying? They shouldn't agree with that either?
No, if the deal is good, the deal is good.
How do you determine that? How do you determine if the deal is good? How do you determine that?
Well, for one, the money doesn't go to funding terrorism, which was another problem with the JCPOA.
What is your definition of a terrorist?
Turned around, funding Hamas, funding.
What about threatening to take over Greenland when they've done nothing wrong? Is that terrorism to you?
No.
What is your definition of terrorism?
If you want to fucking pivot to that, we could talk about that.
No, what I want to get is your definition of what is terrorism to you? What is your definition of terrorism?
When you have non-military people attacking civilian targets.
So military people can't commit acts of terrorism.
Technically, I don't think they can. It has to be non-military. That's why all this terrorism that Iran's doing is just war. It's not terrorism.
So, so what is it
And
when
they have to, hold on, it also has to be for political reasons. So they have to non-military attacking civilian targets to cause terror for political reasons.
That doesn't make any sense. So if I put on
If
we all get
Tim.
together,
Make the definition.
if we all get together and say we're military, all ISIS has to do is say we're the military now, and suddenly what they're doing is not terrorism, according to you.
They have to be recognized by a lot of people, including America. If we recognize you as a country, and you're allowed to have an army, then you could do all that shit. But if we don't recognize you as a country, then you're a fucking terrorist.
So what Bin Laden did to the World Trade Center on September 11th, if America had did the same thing to the Petronas Towers or the Eiffel Tower or something, it's not terrorism because we're a recognized military?
It would be an act of war if America did it.
So in other words, terrorism and an act of war are basically synonyms.
They're not synonyms. They're like parallels, maybe. Tim, I'm not a fucking English major here.
I'm not accusing you.
I barely speak English.
I'm not accusing you of being English major. I'm just trying to get your mindset. I'm trying to find out. So an act of terror is committed by non-military. If you put on a uniform and people recognize you, now it becomes an act of war. Then they're synonyms.
I guess, but whatever.
So then, in other words, what America has been doing to all these other countries is a synonym to terrorism, like with Greenland. That is a synonym to terrorism in your eyes.
No, Greenland is not that. Greenland is just negotiations. We negotiated to try to take over the fucking it's not even a country, it's a territory.
It ain't got nothing to do with it.
You know what the problem is? He was proven right about that, because look at what's happening right now. We're trying to use our bases in fucking England. We're trying to use our bases in all these places, and what's happening? England's telling us, no, you can't use our base to fucking attack Iran.
Okay. If you're out there,
if we're in a war with Russia and Greenland makes a deal with fucking Russia, they could be like, no, you can't use our base to attack Russia or defend yourself from Russia.
That's what being a sovereign territory is about. You don't take my house.
Yeah, so maybe we should fucking take over it so we don't have to worry about Russia making a deal with Greenland and kicking us out.
Why don't you just be more responsible, morally sane, sound people on the planet so people aren't trying to get your ass, as opposed to taking other people's countries so you'll be better prepared? Don't be out in the street.
Morally sound, and
that's
the same
crazy.
Thing can happen, Tim.
That's crazy.
We could be morally sound, and they could still make a deal with fucking.
We're not.
Greenland.
Let's try the morally sound part first. Then we can complain if it doesn't work. Let's at least try it first.
Look, imagine if we never attack Iran, they fucking play our games, keep the JCPOA, and then overnight they have nukes, and they decide to close the Strait of fucking Hormuz, and they have nukes, and we never, we'll be fucked.
I get your point, but what you're basically saying, imagine if they do some irresponsible shit. So to prevent them from doing irresponsible shit, let us do some irresponsible shit first. That's what you're basically. Let us go kill them first, because we don't want the chance they might kill us. So let's go over there and just kill them first. That's what you're basically saying.
Well, first of all, they've been doing irresponsible shit by funding Hamas and funding all these terrorism in the area.
What is the difference? Can I ask you this? What is the difference between funding Hamas and funding Israel?
Again, officially recognized fucking state country versus just random civilians attacking civilians.
So funding an established military is okay. If the military is doing irresponsible shit, it's okay to do that, as opposed to just a group of guys that is not a recognized military doing the same irresponsible shit.
We didn't call Venezuela terrorists for funding Cuba. We didn't call Iran terrorists for funding Yemen.
Ricky says caller is trash. Wow. I'm just going to tell you everything.
This is not.
This
is not shit I'm making up. This is how shit works.
This is how this is how
it's not
shit.
like I'm deciding this is how it is. I'm just telling you how it is.
No, you're right. You're not making this up. This is how shit works. This is how white supremacy, colonial shit, colonizing shit works. This is colonizer mentality. What you're doing.
This is the problem I have with you. Your fucking analogies don't work. And
it does work.
Your analogy sucks.
This is the same shit we use when we're always colonizing countries. It's a measure of our shit don't stink. When they do this, when other people do the same thing we're doing, it's terrorism or some kind of negative word. When we're doing it, we got some kind of way of sweetening it up to make it sound better. It's the same shit. That's all. I just asked you, what's the difference between funding Hamas and Israel? Well, Israel is the military. It's the same shit. Yeah, but it's the same shit.
Okay. Again, I'm not pro-Israel. I hate Israel. I'm just telling you how it is. Like I said, I was pro-Israel, and especially after October 7, and like everybody else, I think they fucking overstepped their shit. I mean, I think they've gone crazy. I don't blame them, but I'm not pro-Israel at all.
All right.
So,
even
though my best friend's Jewish and everybody, I'm in Miami.
Well, the point I'm making is we're talking about what Iran would do with nukes and how it could kill a bunch of people, and we're actually doing what we claim they would do. We're just doing it with conventional weapons. We are killing. I mean, when you factor in what happened in Afghanistan and Iraq and all these other, we are killing those totals. We just aren't using nukes. Conventionally, we're killing more people. If Iran dropped one nuke somewhere in the Middle East, I bet you it would not kill as many people as we have done in the 21st century with the shit we've done. So we're doing what we're saying they would do. We're actually doing it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's one of the reasons I initially voted for Trump, because he was against what we did in Iraq.
Boy, did he lie.
In a lot of ways, he hasn't repeated what we did in Iraq. He's not trying to do a ground.
No, he didn't repeat it. He didn't repeat it in Iraq. He repeated it in Afghanistan, in Venezuela, and now he's threatening Cuba. He repeated it elsewhere. He repeated it elsewhere.
In Afghanistan.
What?
No, he everything he didn't have the mistakes of Iraq and Afghanistan. He didn't commit troops to fucking, Venezuela. He did one action, got rid of the fucking president, and that was it. It was one action. It wasn't a 20-year fucking occupation.
No, he didn't commit troops.
There's been no grounds on the troop in Iran.
No, he didn't commit.
It wasn't the war. It was the ground troops, and how our people kept getting killed for nothing.
Yeah, he didn't commit troops. He committed our finances. He committed our economy. He committed our legacy. He's losing other shit. He didn't do it in Iraq. He did it in Iran, and he's losing other stuff other than troops. But we are losing big time in this war as well. It will go down in history similar to Iraq. A whole bunch of Middle Easterners died unnecessarily, and we paid a heavy price. It just may not be in blood.
What are the numbers? Like, if so many Middle Easterns are dying, why are we not hearing the death toll numbers in fucking Iran?
Because we don't care about Middle Eastern deaths.
Trump has been very good at not killing civilians.
Bullshit.
I know you guys are bitching about that school, but that was a complete accident.
Trump just...
Or even if you don't believe in accident, overall, he hasn't killed that many civilians. All his targets have been military targets, and you see them on video.
No. That's bullshit. I'll tell you.
See him attacking.
That's bullshit.
Every day he releases videos of attacking tanks and attacking military targets.
He didn't release. You notice he didn't release a video of him attacking that school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if he didn't release the video of the, if he didn't release the video, if he did not release the video of the school, if he didn't release the video of the school, hold on, hang on. If he didn't release the video, that's no fucking. This is an investigation in Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good too, huh? You're never gonna get to the bottom of that shit. The point is, if he didn't release the video of the school, what other videos is he not releasing?
I mean, he's releasing more than anybody else ever released. I don't remember getting fucking videos from.
Yeah, because he's making. Yeah, because he's making comedy about killing people, putting it to rap music and shit. He's actually making fun of murdering people. That's why he's releasing that shit. He enjoys killing people.
If you say so.
The same way with same way with the Venezuelan boats. He was releasing that. He enjoys killing people. Just like he tried to get this Olympian thrown in jail for 10 years for some shit he didn't do. He enjoys punishing people. I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty obvious. They're on TV with
like the drug dealers, drugs.
Yeah, they're on video with a bunch of folks in CCOT talking about this. You know, they enjoy punishing people. I think that's pretty obvious.
Okay, whatever. It's pretty obvious that he enjoys going after bad guys, after drug dealers, after Iran, who's been our enemy for 50 years.
You think the Olympian is a bad guy?
You know, after Venezuela, who's also our enemy.
You think the Olympian is a bad guy?
Friends, that they were missionaries.
You think the Olympian he want to put in jail for 10 years for the reflective pool? You think that's a genuine bad guy?
I don't know him. I don't even care about bullshit like that.
Well, then how are we having a conversation if you're going to point out the bad guys, but then when I give you one, you say you don't care about him?
The Olympian is some random guy that maybe didn't follow the rules. These guys are
10 years
delivering drugs. That's how our fucking stupid system works.
It's
not like he fucking wrote the mandatory. You know who wrote the mandatory minimum?
That's not how our system works.
Fucking Biden.
First of all, you say that's how our system works. If the Justice Department decides not to prosecute you and the president is trying to force them to do so, that is not how our system works. You have never seen that before in your fucking life, where the president was trying to get his Justice Department to go around their own decision not to prosecute publicly. You have never seen that.
Yeah. In the end, a lot of these people are not in jail. Like, is any of them in? Is Fauci in jail?
Why is he trying to put the man in jail? Why is he trying to put the man in jail?
I mean, you gotta remember, they put what's his name in jail? Who's the fucking Brightline guy?
Why is he trying to put the Olympian in jail?
Because he was fucking with the fucking pool that we just spent $15 million on.
So is Janine Pirro lying when she says that that's not true? She is the Justice Department. Is she lying?
I mean, she knows more than. I mean, she's investigating.
Why do they have a difference? Where is his? This is the same shit.
Who gives a fuck about this pool, Tim?
These are innocent people, MAGA. These are innocent people. People give a fuck about.
Different kinds of innocence. First of all, being charged doesn't fucking automatically.
Why is he being? I'm trying to find out. This is just like with Tulsi Gabbard. We go to war.
This is a bullshit distraction,
No.
Tim. You're wasting time.
I want you to hear this. This is just like with Tulsi Gabbard. Why are you going around the people that are in your the experts? You're going to surround yourself with the best and brightest, but you're not going to listen to them? Why are you going around the Justice Department and suggesting this guy is guilty when they're responsible for investigating? They're coming back when he's innocent. Where is he getting his information to suggest this guy fucked up the pool when the Justice Department is saying he did not? Where is he getting that?
He recorded himself fucking up the pool. Even if he didn't tear it up, he recording himself pulling shit out the pool. And, you know, just because he's commenting on shit doesn't mean he's actually going around telling fucking Shapiro to fucking hang this guy. I mean, we don't know what he's actually doing. He's just fucking commenting on fucking Twitter and that's it. Or Truth and that's it.
He said it. He said he wanted the guy to get 10 years.
He said it. That's the problem. He said it. The guy's not in jail. We don't even know if he's being charged. He's not being charged. But, Trump said it. That means it's fucking true.
So you believe that...
Everything with you is Trump said it. I'm waiting to see what he actually fucking does. And everything with you is Trump said it. Trump said it. I mean, at one point, do you just wait till see what he actually does? Because Trump says a lot of shit. And, bro, you say I'm in a cult. You listen to everything he says.
You are in the cult. You are in the cult.
I'm not the one listening to everything Trump says.
I agree with that. You're the one. I agree.
Full of all his favorite quotes.
I agree. You are not listening to everything he says. That's why the stuff you're repeating is so wrong. You are not listening to him. I agree with you. That's why you don't know most of this stuff when you talk about it.
I'm waiting to see what he does. From day one, we said we don't like his tweets, but we like his policies.
What policies? Give me one. Give me a policy. What policies?
Closing the border, the fucking tariffs, the fucking the deportations, the fucking security, but the fucking what's it called? Sending in the National Guard to make cities like Chicago and DC fucking secure. The foreign policy, the fucking Venezuela. Now he opened up Venezuela, and hopefully within fucking a year or two, there'll be good fucking members of the world selling their oil for cheap, so our oil prices go down.
Is that what we're
successful
doing?
in Iran, again, making them into a fucking friend from an enemy.
Selling.
You gotta realize, like, we went to war with Germany, and now they're one of our good friends. We went to war with Japan, and now they're friends. We went to war with Italy, and now they're friends. I mean, that's usually what happens after war. You know, we end up being friends because war is fucking hell.
Last question, because I think this has been crazy so far. I want you to hear this, and I want to get your opinion on it.
Meanwhile, the government seems to have lost track of $13 billion from Venezuela. We have a debt. We could use it. This week, the Financial Times reported that the United States has taken in roughly $13 billion from Venezuelan oil sales this year. That's since we pulled Maduro out in January and Washington took control of the country's oil exports. $13 billion. Publicly, about $300 million of it can be traced arriving in the capital city of Caracas. The rest of it, though, well, we have no idea where it is. Secretary Rubio told Senate Foreign Relations the arrangement was short-term, with the money in an account in Qatar. In April, the State Department said about $3 billion had gone back and that quarterly reports were coming. Since that, we've heard absolutely nothing else about it. Meanwhile, the president has said the money, quote, will be controlled by me, and that the United States is, quote, making a lot of money off Venezuelan oil. And last night, on a stage in Georgia, he offered this assessment of how it's all going.
Also, Venezuela is doing better than they've ever done before, too. The big oil companies are going in and they're signing up.
No, Venezuela is not doing better than it has ever done. Their first quarter GDP was the worst in 5 years. A month ago, they were totally ravaged by 2 devastating earthquakes. But you know who is doing better? The president.
What do you think about it? Where do you think that money's at?
I think it's just being processed. It'll be in the next report. I don't know what to tell you. Like, the government doesn't work that good. They could have lost it, but I really doubt that.
It ain't
You'll
lost.
find out eventually. I mean, it's only been like 3 months, really.
Processed. You know? $13 billion is being processed. All right. Well, if Trump is saying that plenty of money is... Go ahead.
Also, you know, they're bullshit about their GDP. They fucking had a fucking earthquake, so of course it affected their GDP. And you know, just because
the earthquake
they're
is too recent,
getting better doesn't mean they're there yet.
The earthquake ain't got. The earthquake just happened last week. That ain't got nothing to do with their GDP numbers. I'm sure they didn't just measure that yesterday.
Colombia's earthquake just happened last week.
We're talking about this is Venezuela, though.
Well, it was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, okay, all right. You said it's being processed.
I mean, all this shit is a matter of time, and they're attacking it before the shit gets straightened out. You know, that's what Democrats do. They're like, everything with them is like the future. Like they attack him now because they know in a year everything's gonna be fucking amazing, but it's after elections, so he could fix everything the day after elections, and you know, you guys would be fucked. I don't know.
All right.
Sorry,
I gotta move it on. I'll leave it at that. I'll let you process the rest of your thoughts. Thank you for coming up, Maga.
It's a matter of time, Tim. That's my last word. Matter of time before we actually see the results.
I know.
And you guys are proven wrong. Oh, just like the DSA person. I said that DSA shit's a loser, and she lost.
Yeah, that's a good thing. 2 to 4 weeks the world be over with. I gotta go. Thank you. Being processed. Tap the screen. We should be around 80,000. There's a lot of lazy thumbs in here. Tap the screen. Did MAGA grow up around the power plant? Oh my God! One of the viewers said, "Did he grow up around the power plant?" I gotta say, it was funny to hear him say $13 billion are being processed. Though that was kind of funny. Trump has no history of fixing anything, says Furback. All right. DSA is the demise of the Democrat Party, says Bait Boss. I don't buy that. And I'm kind of on your side. I am old enough where I'm not necessarily favoring a very far left party, but I'm also one who did not believe the Republican Party was going to nominate a former game show host in Trump. Jeb Bush was a moderate from the Republican side, whereas President Trump was talking a whole bunch of extreme shit like Muslim bans and terrorists and stuff. That stuff was extreme when Trump came on the scene and started talking that. Just like folks believe the DSA is going to be the demise of the Democrat Party. I remember Dana Perino arguing with Eric Bolling when this was in the infancy days of the Five. For some of you who watch Fox News, because Eric Bolling hasn't been on the Five in a long time. He's on another network. I think he's on Newsmax or something. But anyway, she was telling him then, Dana Perino, who is the Carolyn Leavitt, but she was doing it for George W. Bush. She was saying back then that Trump had no chance of winning. That's Dana Perino. You see her on the Five. So there were plenty of folks that thought Trump was the right-wing equivalent to the DSA for the right. But yet here he is. People voted for Trump because they want change. They're tired of the traditional two-party system. They want to upset the system. They want the shit that Trump promised. Looking out for the little guy, America first, getting us out of overseas wars, all of that stuff. They still want that. Trump didn't deliver on any of it. So, yes, those people still exist. I don't know if I agree that the DSA is the end of the Democrat Party, because them folks still want the stuff that Trump promised. That's why you hear Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and all them now trying to separate Trump from MAGA, because they don't believe he is making America great again. They believe he's doing something else. So, and remember, a lot of the Bernie Sanders people didn't want the traditional two-party system. And when Bernie Sanders lost, some of them voted for Trump. So I don't feel confident in saying the DSA is the downfall of the Democrat Party. Trump proved that people want something outside of the ordinary. Going to the box, and I saw your Galaxy there, Galaxy equivalent Dencal. Your guest, I don't know if he put in his request, but we'll try to make it happen. Looking in the comments here, Trump wasn't a socialist and didn't promise. Trump wasn't a socialist and didn't promote loser ideas. No, he just told a bunch of lies. No, Trump promoted great ideas. He just lied about all of them. And he didn't do it. And the ideas that he did want to do, he didn't campaign on them. Project 2025, endless wars, enriching himself, all kinds of pet projects around DC versus actually taking care. He lied. I mean, he campaigned on some shit that is totally different than he wanted to do. Does that say Paranoid? Are you there?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bright Souls, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. What brings you up?
Do you remember me from last time?
Kinda. Talk to me.
We went all over the place, and I think today we might kind of do the same thing, but I have an idea. I have a plan, okay?
Okay.
I would like the idea, the main focus of this conversation is back and forth, to be moral consistency. Because first, when Dencal was on, y'all had mentioned, and I thought this was a fantastic point, about some of the military decisions that have happened recently that I think we all know what we're talking about with the school, that just it's not morally consistent whatsoever. And that's something I heavily agree with. But there are some things that I definitely disagree with. And then MAGA came on. MAGA.
Let's go with what you disagree with. Let's go with what you disagree with. What have you heard that you disagree with? And by the way, for folks who are watching, if you want to be a caller, you can come up on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, or Clapper. This current guest is on Instagram. Same name across all platforms. The Handsome Liberal. Doesn't cost you anything. If you got the platform, search for the Handsome Liberal. Follow me on that particular platform. You can be a caller. And we don't ban, block, or drop you because of your politics. You can be critical of anyone, including me. So what were you disagreeing with, Paranoid?
Okay. Look, there's a lot. there was a lot. I'll say, look to your followers, your guests, double tap the screen, hit the like button, share this, because it's about to get all over the place.
Okay, let's get into it then. Let's get involved. Let's get into it.
It's about to get a little messy. Okay, the first thing I guess I'll say is Okay. I'll start my first disagreement with a question for you. Do you believe in women's rights?
Yes.
Of course, right. That's a good thing. Women's rights is a good thing to be treated as an equal, okay? Now, do countries that are predominantly Islam or have an Islamic government or Sharia law implemented, do you believe that that is a fair treatment of women, how they treat their women?
different countries, but overall, I do believe the Muslim religion believes that women are subservient to men.
Yes, very, very much so.
Yeah.
To the point to where if a woman is beaten by her husband, she has no legal recourse over that. Also, they are allowed to have, Muslim men are allowed to have multiple wives and to treat their wives how they be treated. I mean, they're forced to wear clothing that is not to their choice, but they're forced, by law.
Okay. I would say that's we agree on all this. So I said disagree. Everything you're saying, we agree on.
Okay. So, but earlier you were saying you were confused as to why there's maybe a disdain. That's not the exact words you used, but like you were confused on why is there a disdain towards Islam? And I would say that's maybe one point that I can bring up as of right now is that I think they treat their women harshly.
Okay, I see what you said. So you believe that if we put a Muslim candidate in there, they're going to try to change our laws so that we treat women in this country the way that it...
Well, I didn't mention Mamdani, but...
I get your point. Well, let me just say it like this. First of all, I don't believe all Muslims subscribe to that because there's a lot of Christians that also believe women are subservient to men. I get MAGA on the program all the time that say women shouldn't even have the right to vote. So...
But our legal system has women... I mean, look, we fought a lot over the years to make it this way, but
yeah,
we have women that actually have rights. Like, women can wear whatever they want to wear, say whatever they want to say. In the mass majority of Islam countries where Sharia law...
But we're not in an Islam country. We're not... I think what the problem is, you're trying to make it sound like if we put in a Muslim candidate, they're going to suddenly try to change the whole country to a far-right Muslim country. Yeah, we got a bunch of Christian candidates in here. We're not a far-right Christian country. So why do you think the Muslims are going to do it?
Well, instead of looking at it like left or right, or like, Christian or Muslim versus Muslim, I'm just focusing on just the Muslim perspective because I think a lot of people are disillusioned or they have like this... dissociation from reality of how these Muslim countries treat their women. Like, they are actively oppressed. They not only are they physically...
But Mamdani wasn't born in any of those countries.
Well, like I said, Mamdani aside, we can circle back to American politics because I think the American Muslim is much, much different than your typical Muslim throughout the world. You're the mass majority and the people who run these predominantly Muslim countries.
Yeah, but hold on. Here's where I'm still confused. I said I don't understand why the right is anti-Muslim candidates, and the candidates that the right are against. Most of them were all born in America. So bringing up what happens in the Middle East. I mean, Farrakhan is a Muslim in America. I don't think he wants to take over the country and put women have multiple wives and all of that. You're losing me.
But I'm sorry. I just respectfully disagree. I believe that you're wrong. That they're openly advocates. They may not say those exact words, but they're open advocates for Sharia law, and they're
all of them.
Sympathizers. Look, anybody who's a sympathizer with Sharia law, to me, is either an idiot or a bad person.
Okay, but you can see the pitfalls of the Muslim religion, but there is a whole bunch of tenets of Christianity that people. But you're okay with Christian politicians?
No, I think remember the point of the conversation. This is why I did this: moral consistency. I have a strong disagreement and disdain towards people who claim to be Christians or use God's or Christ's name and do atrocities in that name of God or in the name of Christ. They're going to have to answer to God and to Christ.
Okay.
Those sins by using the God's name to condone atrocities. That is also evil.
Okay. Where you're losing me. Like I mentioned to my last caller, Trump has literally made videos making fun of killing people. He's not a Muslim. He supposedly is a Christian.
He's like the biggest fake Christian in the world right now because he ran on being a Christian, right? he ran on this idea that he's a Christian and he's has Christian ideologies in his best interest, that he has Christians in his best interest, right? He said it so many times, but it's just looking at the actions, it's incredibly hypocritical. It's just obviously false. He's not a Christian. He doesn't have Christians' interests, he's just a liar. You could go on and on and on about different things that are, just morally reprehensible that he has done.
So you're not a Trump fan at all. So you're not a Trump fan.
No, you don't remember the last conversation. I used to be a Trump supporter. I did vote for him 3 times. Yes, we can go over that again.
You didn't know all of this shit on the 3rd time you voted for him?
Well, the last time we had mentioned that I genuinely believed that he was not a Christian, but definitely an outsider. That was my perspective, that he wasn't a part of this, control scheme that I believed, remember before I was apolitical. So I didn't really kind of believe that either side had America's best interests in mind. I think they all kind of just catered to their own pockets, like a lot of people believe now, very apolitical, because the hope has been beaten out of
Tap the screen, TikTok, get the likes up. Yeah, man, here's what I see in the comments. Hanson Conservative is also saying all practicing Muslims believe in Sharia law and it's the Quran. There's a whole lot of Christians that believe a woman shouldn't be a pastor, the Christians believe a lot of women are lesser than stuff too. But they're in politics and they're not implemented. I don't understand why we believe that if a Muslim, hang on a second, I don't understand why we believe that if a Muslim becomes a politician, they're going to do everything the Quran says when Christians are not doing everything the Bible says.
Look, I'll say this. I'm not a fan of Christian liars and evil people that are proclaiming to be Christian, and I'm not a fan of people that are Muslim who are claiming to be good Muslims and they're doing evil things. I'll give an example. Mamdani did a Muslim prayer recently, okay? It was kind of televised. I think it was covered by a couple of different news outlets.
Okay.
In this prayer, he goes and on to speak, in this, I forget the name of the language. You got me on the spot. They're speaking Muslim language, and part of this prayer, he goes on to say death to infidels. Okay, I don't understand.
Mamdani said that?
Yes, sir.
Death to infidels.
You can Google it right now. That in the prayer, it is said death to infidels, and infidels, according to Islam.
I haven't seen any clip. Did you see Mamdani say it, or is it something that a right-wing media outlet told you? I haven't seen Mamdani say anything about death to infidels.
Google Mamdani prayer. Mamdani Islam prayer. Death to infidels.
Mamdani Islam prayer. Death to infidels. Is that what you just said?
Correct. He condones Sharia law. He condones.
Okay, it says, this is what AI says. New York City Mayor Zohar Mamdani faced public scrutiny and political controversy after attending Friday prayers at Al-Khoi Islamic Center in Queens, where an Arabic supplication recited by an imam included a translation referencing killing of infidels by your sword. So he didn't say it.
Do you think that is appropriate to be related to anything like that? To be related to that as the governor of New York City in America?
I think it's quite common.
Do you think that it's a common thing to say death to infidels when infidels is anybody who is not a Muslim? That is religious persecution, sir.
Well, first of all, he didn't say it. Hold on, hang on a second. First of all, he didn't say it. And second of all, I'm assuming that Christians attend services where Christian pastors say all kinds of controversial shit all the time. So
that's not our religion. That's not our religion. We pray for forgiveness for our enemies, and that if they decide to come to us, we're not going to kill them.
An eye for an eye is forgiveness?
Look, to be a true Christian is to forgive your enemy and to allow them into the the family of God.
Yeah,
You know?
so we're going to punish him for being around somebody else that said something. I mean, to me, some of the shit
Thinking about punishing Memdani.
to me, some of the shit the Heritage Foundation and what is it, Turning Point USA with Charlie Kirk. To me, some of the shit they say is horrible. So because Trump was there raising money and all, Project 2025 is something the Heritage Foundation clearly wants. Trump has been there raising money and everything. Do we hold Trump accountable because he was there?
So the big difference is the big point I'm trying to get across is that these Muslim dominated countries, not Mamdani, not America, but Muslim dominated countries, they have Sharia law. Do you agree that Sharia law is not a crime against humanity?
I don't know all about Sharia law, but I don't favor it. I just do not believe an American-born Muslim is going to, just because you elect an American-born Muslim, that's going to guarantee they're going to try to implement Sharia law. Has Mamdani ever said that's what his goal is?
That was not my original proclamation, though. Like, I think, look, that's a kind of a, like I said, besides the point. I think we can talk more about that. I'm not as well versed in Mamdani as I believe you are, you know. But look, I think I'm talking about just Islam as a whole, because you were.
I don't believe they're going to do that. I do believe that a politician can separate their religion from their level of governance. I don't think every politician is going to try to govern out of the good book, whatever that may be, Quran, the Bible, or whatever.
Islam does. And their book tells them to kill infidels. That's their book. Our book doesn't say that, dude.
I know Ilhan, what is her name? Ilhan Omar up in Minnesota. She's been a congresswoman there. I don't know how many terms. I don't hear Sharia law in Minnesota. I don't hear nobody talking about that.
They're fake Muslims. Dude, you look at
okay, well, shit. Then maybe Ilhan, maybe Mamdani is a fake Muslim. I don't know.
Maybe so. I mean, he's not. Look, if he was a real Muslim, real Muslim, he would go and do what the radical terrorists are doing. And he would go behead Christians, because that is what is specified in their book, in their holy book, to kill Christians.
Yeah. I can't speak on it because we obviously in America do not like the Muslim religion, so we're going to attribute the worst to it.
I was trying to explain, just a little bit as to maybe why people have that disdain.
Yes, it sounds like Islamophobia to me. We're assuming they're going to do the worst.
Is it Islamophobic to disagree with the horrible mistreatment of women or the marrying of children?
No, but it is Islamophobia to automatically assume any Muslim is going to guarantee and do that, because there are well, then don't assume that Mamdani is going to be in favor of reducing equality for women.
You keep bringing up Mamdani. That's not really
any Muslim. Do we have any Muslim candidate at all that ran for office with a platform of reducing equality for women? Any of them? Have any of them done that?
I don't believe so, but that's not really my point.
What's your point?
That they have. I'm not trying to argue they have.
Then why attribute it to them?
I never attributed it to them.
Then why is it coming up?
To Islam as a whole, because we're talking about moral consistency.
Okay. Well, you can't bring up the moral consistency of one religion. Well, I mean, because the Christian religion had a pattern of hiding pedophilia. So do you assume any Catholic candidate is going to do that? I mean, you're assuming the worst of Muslim candidates. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's not. No, I'm looking at the Muslim-ran countries, Islam-ran countries, right? And they run with Sharia law, which is, in my opinion, a crime against humanity. They have bad treatment of women, and they marry off children. Okay. And
yeah, to me, I see it as.
I still disagree with everything that's horrible that's happened with the Catholic Church and all these priests that did all these horrible things to kids and killed a bunch of natives and buried them under churches and stuff. Like, that's horrible evil too. I'm not trying to say that that's not evil.
Yeah, the only difference I see is between the Muslim countries and the Christian countries. It's just the era in time. All of the Christian countries have a history of doing all of the shit you're talking about. They just stopped a little bit. They just stopped a little bit sooner than the Muslim countries did. But all of the stuff, the mistreatment of women and minority populations and all of the stuff that we can say that Sharia law did, Christianity was found on similar shit. They were treating women less than equal. All of that. You could marry little kids and shit. We used to have all that in this country. We just ended it slightly early, and now we want to criticize them because they're still doing it. It's like the two guys that go to clubs and pick up chicks. One of the dudes gets saved on a Sunday, and the next Monday, now he's criticizing his friend for all of the infidelity shit he does. Like, dude, you was in the club with me last week. Now because you found Jesus, you want to criticize me? That's what it sounds like.
So because of that, you think it's okay for Sharia law to be implemented in
I don't think there's
countries?
any. No, I don't think there's any.
It's a growing policy. Like, you go look at certain countries are being overtaken with Sharia law. Even the European countries, there's no-go zones where they enact Sharia law in Europe.
I don't think there's any chance of that coming in America. I got to move it on, but I don't think there's any chance of Sharia law taking hold in America anytime in your lifetime. I don't think there's any chance of it.
For some moral consistency, please look into Sharia law personally on your free time. When you
Okay.
get some time, do it. I promise you.
Fair enough. I could look into the Catholic Church and I'm still not going to walk away thinking that some politician wants to abuse kids. I can look into it, but it ain't just looking into Sharia law. You're trying to convince me that Muslim candidates want to implement it. I don't think looking into it is going to give me that conclusion.
That's not what I'm trying to convince you of. I've never wanted.
You're trying to convince me that Sharia law is deplorable. I get that part.
Look, but you say, look, I'll just leave you with this. You say you haven't been super familiar with what Sharia law is.
Okay.
I'll leave you with just to do your research on Sharia law.
Okay. And I'll do that, but I'm not going to come to the conclusion that anybody in this country that is running for office want to do that. All right.
To your own conclusion, sir. Hey, thank you very much. I loved the debate. It was a great time. I hope you have a good rest of your night, sir.
You too. Thank you for coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right, moving on with the program. And you guys help your boy. We should have been around 100,000. Lazy Thumbs in here. Tap the screen and go ahead and drop their paranoid. Go ahead and drop. But looking in the comments,
Yes,
Christianity is doing Sharia law in Texas. I don't believe anybody in the state of Texas is being forced to live their life according to Sharia law with any real legitimate punishment happening if they don't. In Muslim countries, if you don't, the ones that implement Sharia law, if you don't adhere to it, you'll face punishments, fines, hell, you might be executed, depending on the country. That's not happening in Texas. There's nowhere in Texas that if you don't follow the rules of Sharia law, some government official is going to punish you. It's not happening. And I think you guys, to me, that's fear-mongering. That's the way I look at it, which is what I was trying to tell him. It's fear-mongering. There were countries that were Christian that have been taken over by Muslims and now are Muslim. Well, there were countries that were not Christians that have been taken over by Christians. Like I said, the only difference is the era. Most of the stuff we want to accuse the Muslims of doing, the Christians have done too. I don't get it. We stopped, and now we want to criticize them for doing what we used to do exactly? I don't get it. Ali says he thinks it's appropriate to wipe the whole nation. I don't get what you mean by wipe, Ali. But you said the caller is stupid as fuck. Hold accountable the guy in charge when the one you just elected. Yes, I do agree with that part. But he's no fan of President Trump anymore, even though you're right, he just elected him. Travelman. Appreciate the hat mustache. A few of you folks showing your boy some love. Help us out with the TikTok cap. Hat mustache goes. Chris says USA laws are different than any other country. It's simple. I don't believe Sharia law. I don't believe we're at any threat of Sharia law taking hold in America. I just don't. And if I seen otherwise, you'd have I would be on your side. I'm not defending him. I just don't see it. Do you see it, Travelman? Good evening.
Damn.
Yes.
Find these damn people at, man. It's bad enough you guys deal with MAGA React. First of all, anybody that brings up this Sharia law bullshit,
Mhm.
or the country gonna turn into a communist country or a socialist country, do not believe in the United States of America.
Well, the candidates on the left are talking socialism, though. Nobody's talking Sharia law, but there are plenty of candidates talking socialism. I mean, you got to take them at their word, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
They won 35 elections
Okay.
out of 165.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So what are you saying? It's all fear mongering, like I'm saying?
Well, what I'm saying is, this country is not going to go socialist and it's not going to go communist.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of bullshit, man.
Well,
Because the people not going, the people in America is not going for that BS. You know, but see, this is the thing. MAGA they love culture bullshit. And that's what they're doing. And so they're very good at painting Democrats, which they've done for years and years, as socialists and communists.
Yeah.
Or they're going to destroy the country. And I've been trying to figure, I've been doing research. I've been trying to find out, when did the Democrats destroy the country?
Well, when they say destroy the country, they mean change what this country fundamentally stood for. Like we knew what genders mean, or hard work, or you had to, like the Archie Bunker song, everybody pulled their own weight and all that. And they're saying the Democrats are making it so that the way the founding fathers wanted the country to be, the Democrats are trying to change that.
That's bullshit.
I'm just telling you what
Why haven't they done it in the last, and I won't even go back too far. Why haven't they done that in the last 100 years?
Well, some of it has happened. Like Lisa put in the comments, nuclear family. The left-wing feminists, they're not very favorable of the nuclear family. You got women walking around saying, "I don't need a man." That goes against the nuclear family. So they believe.
So you got 2% of women saying that.
Is it only 2%?
They like to take this, man. They like to blow all this bullshit up. The MAGA love culture wars. Okay? They love culture wars, man. This country, there's no way in the Sam hell that this country is going to let another religion come in here and implement Sharia law. Number one, it's against the Constitution. Okay? Nobody's going to allow anybody to come into this country and do anything else. And if you think somebody is going to come in, because we got a couple of democratic socialists in the Congress, that it's going to change the freaking country. Come on, man. And then, as far as Muslims go, you know what? Muslims is 1% of the population. And if we allow Muslims to come in here and implement some bullshit like Sharia law, then we'll put them. And let 1% dictate to 99%.
So you agree with Cowboy in the comments that says it's hateful paranoia to the next level?
That's all it is. That's all it is. You know why? Because they don't want to concentrate on the fact that we're in a freaking war that we can't get out of.
Thank you, JPT Farms. Appreciate it.
Well, we've killed thousands of Iranians. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that.
I don't know.
They don't want to talk about the fact that tariffs have got inflation. I think their last month is up to 3.4%. Gas is back over $4. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the cuts that's been made to the FDA and to the CDC and how that's affecting what's going on in the country. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that this mass migration, as we said the other day, is affecting the housing market because they don't have enough people to frame the houses, which affects the electricians and everybody else, which makes a shortage even worse, which drives up the price even more. They don't want to talk about that.
Well, speaking of talking about stuff, in the comments, Handsome Conservative says, look at Dearborn, Michigan. Tell me they're not taking. He's saying in Dearborn, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit, the Muslim culture is taking over. They got videos of people playing prayer messages really loud, prayer horns or whatever. He's saying they're taking over.
How many cities do we have in the United States?
Thousands.
How many have a majority Muslim or Arabic population?
Well, let me put on my MAGA hat and give you the MAGA answer. One is too many. One is too many, they're going to say.
Let me give you somebody with common sense answer. Fuck MAGA. Okay? They say one is too many, but meanwhile, they do all kinds. Okay? One is too many wars that we in right now. But we in one.
Yeah.
That we can't get out of. One is too many where we had a JCPOA that was approved not just by the United States, by 11 countries. Everybody make it seem like that it's the United States JCPOA. That's 11 countries that put that in there.
Yeah, I wish Trump hadn't done it alone. In the comments, hang on a second there, Trump. In the comments, AKA Mo Man, you said why you guys so racist. You gotta elaborate. I don't know what you're asking a question. Tell me what are we saying that would indicate that, and I'll try to answer your question. Go ahead, Travelman.
Talk about them. He ain't talking about. I haven't said anything that was racist.
No, I mean I think he was just trying to get a response, so I gave him a response. If he wanted to get a educated answer, I guess he would say something to clear it up, but I don't know why. He's saying crazy things. But so no threat of Sharia law, right?
No, and that's another thing too. This is the problem too. MAGA took over the Republican Party. Okay, MAGA. What was that? The Tea Party, QAnon fucked, and MAGA was born. All right, and they took over the Republican Party. The Republican Party today is not the Republican Party that we grew up with.
No, but neither is the Democrat Party, though.
But let me see now. Because now, who has taken over the Democratic Party?
Folks, I mean, even if we start with Obama, he's further left than Bill Clinton. I mean, the party's going further to the left, the right is going further to the right.
Who has the Democratic Party been taken over like the Republican Party?
No, not at all.
And there's a very slim chance of that happening.
I don't know if I agree with that. Though. If AOC, who a lot of analysts, oddly enough, are saying AOC is starting to look like the leader of the Democrat Party, or, Bernie Sanders had a chance in 2016. If one of them becomes a leader of the Democrat Party, that's going to be somewhat of a leap further left than traditional.
She'll never be Speaker of the House. Okay, but back to what I was saying. MAGA has completely taken over not only the Republican Party, MAGA has taken over state legislatures. That's what they've done. They have jacked up this country. They're the ones letting Trump run amok and alienating all our international allies and letting Putin rub his ass. They're the ones doing that. MAGA. Country's in the shape it's in now because of MAGA.
And speaking of AOC, I got one of my viewers, Mike Penner, says, I'd rather have gangsta grandma than AOC. Wow. In the comments, hang on a second, Travelman. Alberto Santos Dumont, thank you for the support, says, Tim, I live just 15 minutes from Dearborn, Michigan. These morons have zero idea what they're talking about. Muslims are not putting any Sharia law in place. There you go.
Exactly. That's what, like I said, they love the culture war thing. Pretty soon somebody gonna put up there, you guys don't even know what a woman is.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
That will come up. That will come up.
Instead of looking at what's going on right now. What's going on right now? The only reason the economy is booming is because of the AI construction. If it's a bubble and it burns, we up shit creek. We got I think 3 or 4 of Trump's personal lawyers are over the DOJ.
What are you predicting in November?
If the Democrats run strong and they got some pretty good candidates. Even the guy that won for the governor in Wisconsin, this is the first time I saw him today. Did they dodge?
I've been asking that. Did they dodge a bullet not electing what is her name? Something Young or whatever her name was. Francesca Hung. Did they dodge a bullet, the Democrats?
I think they did, but the one saving grace on that, well, they may have been able to. No, they died. Even though they got a nutcase on the Republican side running for governor, okay? Because they love to run around here, like I said earlier. They like to say, "Hey, you guys don't even know what a woman is." You know what? You dumbasses can't even admit to who won the election in 2020.
Yeah,
That's a simple question.
I don't know why when we're talking about extremists, far left candidates, and stuff. I don't know why politicians that cannot tell you who won in 2020. I don't know why they're not viewed as extremists as well, because we know they're only doing it for Trump. To me, those candidates should be considered as just as radical as anything on the left. If you're deliberately avoiding saying who won the election because you don't want to piss off Trump, you should be treated just like the folks who can't say what a woman is, or some of these folks talking about getting rid of Christmas or whatever.
Damn, look at some of the shit Tommy Tuberville be saying. You can't get no dumber than that. You know, I mean, all this stuff is, man, it's like they're just covering up.
Thank you.
With how they jacked up the country. That's all I got to say on that. They just covering it up, and anytime you start bringing that up, they go to some kind of culture bullshit. You know.
Well, the culture wars have worked well for the right, so I understand why they're doing it. It's been very beneficial.
But I think people are starting to wake up to that though, because like they keep talking about this socialism and socialist this, most of which half of them don't even know the difference between communism and
well, the president don't know the difference.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the president. I mean, he called Kamala Harris in one sentence a socialist, fascist, communist, and a Marxist. There's no way one person can be all of those. And he called Kamala Harris all of those in one sentence. So even he don't know what it is.
Yeah, you know, and then they like to say, you know, they like to bring up all this other stuff, you know, communism and that. Communism is that socialism, okay, the government actually takes over industries. And what Democrat has espoused
Mamdani, I think Mamdani has talked about taking over some industries.
A full industry. He want to take over the steel industry.
I'd have to go and listen. I mean, because MAGA Reacts is talking about him, suggesting he want to take over grocery stores, and he wanted to do something with the public transportation.
That's because they want to put. He want to put grocery stores. So what they're doing is they taking what they want to do in New York and they're extrapolating that across the whole country.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Yeah. You know what MAGA React need to be looking at? You need to be looking at all them damn people come January the 1st or starting, I think, in October, that's losing their health care, that's getting kicked off Medicaid.
That's in January. That's after the midterms. That's in January.
Instead of worrying about damn buses in grocery stores.
Yeah.
You know, see, they always go to that bullshit, man. And once again, you want to talk about the government taking over something? Correct me if I'm wrong, but since Trump been in office, haven't he bought into about 4 or 5 corporations and tried to tell them how to run their corporations?
I mean, not only that, but Trump talked about taking over the fucking elections. He said he wanted to nationalize the election and put Republicans in control. That's absolutely some kind of communism right there. So, I mean...
But check this out, Tim. The only politicians that are going after private companies are Republicans.
Right now, yeah, right now. But they're in power right now. I gotta move it on, but that's right now. I don't know if the Democrats may not try that in the future, but right now, you're correct.
DeSantis went after Disney. He went after Carnival. Trump went after private law firms. He's going after the universities. They need to shut the fuck up with what they think.
Travelman, I gotta move it on. Always a pleasure. Right now, you're correct, but that's because the Republicans are in charge. If the Democrats become, as powerful as Trump, I don't know, they may try to take over some shit too, but that hasn't happened yet. So I'm saying it's possible.
They do it before. when Obama was in, they had control of the House and the Senate.
They didn't have control of this. They didn't have control of this. Well, Obama was not Trump, first of all. Maybe you get a Democrat in there that is power hungry, then you might see it. But Obama was trying to be a statesman.
Well, I don't see a Democrat on the horizon that's like Trump. Thank God.
I don't even see it. Well, I don't even think most Republicans are like Trump. Trump is a unique character. So,
yeah, he's an evil, nasty human being is what he is.
He getting paid, he chasing a bag. So that's what it is. I gotta go, Travelman. Thank you.
Out of billions, he's stacking them big time. Later, Tim.
Yep, sure is. Tap the screen. Get us over the 100,000 hump, if you will. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap, especially the TikTok cap. Why you guys show your boy some love? Help your boy with the hat and mustache. TikTok cap goes. What if Obama did? That's a common suffix. That's a prefix, rather. Prefix. What if Obama did? Trump is a convicted offender. He's not a convicted offender. He's a convicted felon. He hasn't been convicted of offending anybody. He's been found civilly liable of doing it. And if the statute of limitations hadn't expired, he would be a convicted sex offender. But he's not. Officially, he is not a convicted offender. He is a convicted felon, though. Looking in the comments, though, I'll tap the screen once you take those pictures off your background. I'll take the pictures off the background once you vote those people out. Those pictures are up because they are who leads this country. There was a time when different people led the country and their pictures were up, but they're not leading the country anymore. So you vote those people out and I'll put up who you want. How about that? How about that? So that's who leads the country. That's why their pictures are up. Anyway, looking in the comments, though, Trump is a coward who uses fools. Call him a coward, call him a smart man, know how to manipulate folks, whatever you want to call him. But he gets what he wants done. Get rid of those devil pictures out of your house. Call them devil pictures. Wow, you don't like the guy. Tap the screen, get the likes on up over 100,000. And we'll take the next caller. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. What a crock, says Kelly. Crock of shit? Crock of what, Kelly? Let me know. Billionaires spreading fear to the ignorant. There's a lot of that. I don't disagree with any of that. But that's interesting. He said he lives just a few minutes from Dearborn and no Sharia law, says one of my viewers. So there you go. Our country is owned by Israel. Your country is ran by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. That's a hit song, by the way. That's a Lego, one of them Iran propaganda videos. That track though is pretty fucking hot. I mean, I can remember it. I ain't seen it in a few weeks, but that was a pretty hot track they created. Your country is ran by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. They lied to you. You definitely don't want to be sued like Fox Propaganda News. No, we don't. No, we do not. But I'm not going to sit here and just lie for a politician just for the sake of doing it. Fox News had no business jumping on the election stolen Dominion voting machines bandwagon. They had no business doing that. They knew at the time they had no evidence whatsoever, and Trump was providing none. Because members of his administration, in fact, there's not a single member of Trump's first administration that say he won. His whole administration says he lost that election, even though many of them would have been in power longer. Mike Pence would have got a second term. Many of them would have gotten more power and stayed in power longer and could have had political careers go on from there. Yet they all admitted he lost. And MAGA's dismissing his whole administration and just taking a word of him, including his vice president. All of them just lied and Trump is telling the truth. And when you ask MAGA, like I've asked MAGA reacts that, well, you know, he just wanted to move on. These crazy excuses for why these prominent, successful men would just lie and say they lost an election when they actually won it. That makes no sense. Everybody's saying this one guy is saying that, and you're going to trust the one guy over all of these folks, even though the one guy has no proof of any of it. That's crazy. For folks who talk about cult-like behavior, it's hard to not argue that that looks weird. I mean, Mike Pence was highly esteemed within the party. In fact, we can go beyond Trump's administration. How many Republican senators say that he won that election? How many Republican congressmen or women outside of maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene or what was the guy, Matt Gaetz, who had his own scandals? How many Republican congressmen or women say, all of them say he lost his own party? How many Republican governors say he won? They all, his own party say he lost. They all just made that up, huh? Their leader, who they all voted for, they just made up a story that he lost an election when he actually won. And people believe that. Hundreds of Republican politicians all lying to get rid of this one guy that they all voted and campaigned for. People actually believe that. It makes no sense to me. If it was a Democrat, we could argue with the left don't like him anyway. These are all people that voted for him. These are all people that supported him. Some of them worked for him. Some of them were actually out there with it, like I said, with Pence and some of these folks would have actually been in power for longer. It makes no sense for them to just lie for him. That's crazy. In the comments here, tap the screen, get the likes on up. Tim, why did I spend an hour on Clapper explaining it? You didn't explain shit. You made a point that I disagree with. And I appreciate you being on Clapper, but you didn't make a point. Hey, in the comments, and hello from Michigan, TJ Holmes, good evening to you. China is an authoritarian country with no civil rights. Could have said the same thing about America not long ago. Gavin Newsom is suing Fox for the same amount of money Dominion took from their fascist asses. What did Fox do to Gavin Newsom? I'm not disagreeing with, because I'm sure Fox News has said things about Gavin Newsom that are not true. I don't like this sue culture that politicians are now involved in. This is something that Trump has opened the door up to, though. Look, as a politician, hundreds of thousands, millions of people that are under you, people are going to say shit about you. I don't like the idea of politicians going after and suing people all over the damn place. But Trump has opened the door to this now because he sued so many people. I mean, Kanye West, after Hurricane Katrina, said George Bush doesn't like black people because of his slow response to Hurricane Katrina. George Bush didn't sue Kanye West. I mean, I don't, to me, it's crazy to have to me, you want to talk about snowflakes? That's what that looks like. You're going at the media outlets and shit, trying to take Sesame Street off the air and all this bullshit. That looks like a big fucking snowflake. In the comments, not to your right, I'm over here. Wait a minute. Gavin Newsom, I saw that China is a... All right, I think I'm reading the comments. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with the one and only gangsta grandma.
Guess what, honey bunny? Guess what I'm eating?
Dick?
Yeah. Yours next, but you know what? I'll be a chocolate.
You gonna fuck around and chip your enamel trying to eat this shit.
I got me a chocolate banana with nuts and whipped cream. Do you know that shit tasted the bomb, though?
Okay. What brought you on?
Well, let me tell you something. I'm fucking with you about eating your dick, okay? But
I mean, look, listen. If you want to chip your enamel, go for it.
Tim, be quiet. Tim, you know what? I'm so sick of the Republican Party. How they want to take our women's rights away. Now they're talking about Muslims, about the Sharia law and shit. You know what I mean? They want to do everything. They're trying to fear everybody. You feel what I'm saying? All this fear mongering for what? Because they still want the Christian white nationalists in office. They are the worst of the worst. They are. Christian nationalists is just like the Sharia law. They want women to pop out kids left and right and every damn thing else. They want to take women and put them back in the kitchen. What the fuck? What are they bitching about? Then you had that white tea man just a little while ago. Oh my God, Sharia law. Oh my God. Oh, they're coming. But yeah, bitch, you're a white nationalist. Go fucking figure. You're the same bullshit, but different skin color.
In the comments, while you're talking, Handsome Conservative says you heard that right. She's defending Sharia law while insulting Christians and white people.
I can't tell these fake ass bitches. For one, if you really want to get into the Bible, the first breath is what God said when it's life. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
When God breathed into Adam's nose and said that's your first breath, he brought him to life. So fuck you with all the bullshit. See, you guys want to pick and choose from the Bible. And then you guys say it half-ass backwards. You guys can't even do shit. You guys don't even know your whole Bible. But yeah, you guys preach the Bible. You guys don't even know your own Bible. That's what's so funny shit about you, so-called Christians. You're a Christian nationalist. Own it, bitches. Own what you are.
What is your definition? What do you believe is the difference between from a Christian to a Christian nationalist?
A Christian nationalist is what we have in office. They are right wing. They're all about evil shit. You know what I mean? The evil, the racist, the everything else. But a real Christian, if God would came down today, they would kick God out of this damn country. They would kick God out of this damn country. You know why? He doesn't have his papers. You know why? Because God's not white.
So
God is black.
You're saying Christians would deport God?
Yes, because God's not their color. God, as they say in the Bible, God had bronze color skin. I swear to God, white people don't got bronze color skin. Hair like wool. I swear to God, white people don't got hair like wool like we do. Like they said, like wool. Like 4C hair. God had fire in his eyes. God was a beautiful God. You feel what I'm saying? God loved everybody. Okay? God loved everybody. God said in Matthew 25, you deny me food. You deny food. You deny me food. We're supposed to love our immigrants. But they don't love the immigrants. Why? Why? Because they're black and brown. And God is what? Black.
They believe the immigrants are a danger to this country.
Oh my God, the white tea man's dangerous to the damn country. Why can't we ship the motherfuckers back to England? Why can't we do that? Because I swear to God, the white tea people was immigrants. They came over and stole this land. I shit you not. So what does that give the white tea man any power?
No.
They are the fucking immigrants. They're the ones that gave us syphilis. They're the ones that put C in the fucking in our hoods. They're the ones that did a lot of shit. And you know what? You know what? The craziest shit of them all. They're the ones that OD'd on drugs, FD, and meth. Crystal, they're the ones that are doing this shit.
All land was conquered, though, Gangsta Grandma. That ain't something unique to the white man.
Two actors are kissing. You know what? They stole this land. And if you don't believe me, you gotta need to go start reading some fucking books.
What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Give the land back?
I wish they would. I wish they'd leave this damn country and get the fuck out of here. And they still be black and brown. How about that?
So if they undo,
you know what, Tim?
Wait a minute.
I'll tell you something. And I you know what? I'm high as shit. That's why I'm eating me a banana.
You're always high. You're always high.
I gotta fuck with you, dog. And you know what's scary? And when I get in there next week, I can't be high.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you. So hold on. If you want them to give the land back and undo what they did, so are you suggesting that all of the African Americans in this country go back to Africa?
Why?
Because you want the white man to undo what they did. That would be part of it.
No, they can leave us here because I like my country.
They do too. They like it too.
No, but Tim, you don't get me off the. Let me tell you something, Tim. If I was president, I wish I could run because I would, honest to God, I would think about the people. You know what I mean? I really would. I would tax the fuck out of the billionaires, and I would not let the poor people, the middle class, pay shit. I would make sure that the you know what I mean?
Well, I got a gift for you. Magariac says he will personally pay for your ticket back to Europe.
Bitch, I'm not from Europe, you stupid fuck. Actually, if you really want to know, I'm from Dominican Republic, bitch, and what?
He says you're white. He says because you are white.
You know what? Let me tell you something. My skin, you might think in my pictures that I look white, but when I get up in it right next to Tim, I'm lighter skinned than Tim, though. I am light.
Everybody's lighter than my black ass. That ain't nothing new. Everybody's lighter than me.
I'm still a Negro, okay? Take it. And let me break this shit down. You know why you white tea people hate us? You know why you white tea people hate us? Because black comes in every shade, bitch. Every fucking shade. Light skin to dark skin, baby. And caramel in between. And what? And what? That's why you motherfuckers hate us. And when we have kids, our kids come out beautiful. Unlike the white tea kids.
That's racist. Now what you're saying right now is, yeah, it is. Shit, that's racist as hell.
What? That's not racist.
That is racist. That is
They make
racist.
ugly ass kids. And what?
For you to say they're children, that's racist.
Hey, shut your ugly ass up.
That's racist as hell.
No, I seen a baby today, nappy hair. Oh, look here. Did they say our kids are nappy? I seen a white tea kid. I shit you not. I had never seen nap titties up a white kid's hair before.
You
I said, what the
racist.
fuck?
You my darling. You are a racist. You are a racist. You
What the
racist.
fuck?
You
Oh, I'm
racist.
racist. Get the fuck out of here with your bald-headed ass. You're the one that kisses a white man's ass and do toss-a hockey on a white
You
chick's
just
ass.
said
How about that?
you just
Shut your
said
ugly ass up.
our children look better than us. You racist.
I see a nappy-headed white tea kid. And I swear to God, that's why you can't bring nothing home. You can't use a comb in. Okay?
You racist.
I don't know if a comb will go through that baby's hair. And that's not my kids. My kids, you can put a comb through my baby's hair, and guess what comes up? Guess what curls all over the damn place? What you talking about, Willis? And Willis, we don't get piojos.
What you're saying is incredibly. I mean, for you to say that white children don't look as good as black children, that's
I
racist.
said the babies. Why are you so mad? Why you calling me out? Did you not just have the fat fuck over here say about Chinese people? Oh, that was racist.
I did say it was racist
But you didn't go off on him. But you like
because he didn't keep saying it. He didn't keep saying it.
Timmy Tim. I got something for your fat ass when I come on Monday. I won't see you on Monday because I gotta have dinner with my lawyer. But Tuesday, I'm coming to see your ugly ass. I swear to God. And we're gonna have fun. Yes, we are.
How do I gotta go to the
What, Tim?
what?
How does? Oh no, I gotta tell you this though, for real. You know how they all be telling us they want us all to have kids. Do you know how much adoption costs in this country?
A lot.
Do you know how much I'm paying to adopt 4 of my god babies? Do you know how much it's costing me right now?
How much?
$85,000. Yep. 85.
Why? Why are they charging you?
I don't know. I have to go through so much bullshit. I had to have a home study, everything. You know, they had to come in my house, even if I had permission by the mama. They had to come in my house. They had to do major background checks on me. They had to do so much shit on me, Tim. So much shit. I mean, almost $80,000. That doesn't include my plane ticket.
Is most of that lawyer fees? Is that a lot of lawyer fees in that?
It's lawyer fees and they had to literally come into my home.
How much of it is lawyer fees?
I think most of it is.
All right then. Don't blame that on the system. Blame that on the lawyer.
But it's expensive.
Oh my God.
But it's expensive.
Get out of here.
Guess what color my lawyer is? Take a guess.
Green.
No.
Green.
He's a whitey patati. But you know what? He's a cool whitey patati. Guess who he voted for? Her.
He voted for Netanyahu.
He's a good person. And you know what? I was like, oh Lord. I said, God help me.
I don't agree charging a woman that is trying to do such a noble deed to adopt 4 kids, charging her damn near $80,000. To me, he ain't a good person.
No, I had to pay for a lot of shit. Like, we had to go take, and I felt so bad because I didn't know I had to go do all this shit. I had to take the father's parental rights away.
Okay.
And I felt bad because her husband is the last. She got pregnant, and I have his 11-month-old, and he gave her up to me because he wanted the kids to stay together. And I felt so
but
bad
the
because
money sounds insane, though.
I told him it is. But I told him that I would never take his rights away. He'd come and see the baby anytime. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I had to take his rights away just to adopt him. And I told him in court. My last time I went up there, I told him that paper ain't gonna mean nothing. And he's a white guy. Believe it or not, this kid, the guy's a white dude. I told him he'd come up to Cali anytime and see his baby, or I'd come down and let them see. You know what I mean? So I'm not like you think. I'm not a mean person.
I don't think you're mean. I don't think you're mean. I don't think you're not mean. You're racist. I don't think you're mean, though.
I'm not racist.
Yes, you are.
Tim,
yes.
Let me tell you something. They put us in trees, Tim. They just found a black woman in a tree. Okay? They're unaliving our kids.
So you're defending being racist by pointing out racism. That's what you're doing.